All I know is I just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is we just need her. All I know is you just need her.
Running back. Because I'm awfully deceiving. I always say I'm fine, but that's not the true meaning. The walls are caving in and it leaves me with feelings. But the only one that matters is I won't be defeated. They'll keep talking, pray that I lost it. I keep it cool, my attitude stay frosted. And I'm intending to bring a revolution. There far too many problems with false view solutions. So let's march towards the hills. Let's march with the dreams to be fulfilled. The pen is letting, I'm making them sign a bill. Letting out the future is hard to me still. And all I know is I just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is we just need her. All I know is you just need her.
All I know is you just need her. All I know is I just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is we just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is I just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is we just need her. All I know is you just need her.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers and gamers, to Victoris VAD quarterfinals. I'm going to be your host for this evening. My name is Becky, otherwise known as Becky Bear, and I am joined here by my two beautiful casters that I am not going to point the right direction for.
You got it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that second time's the charm.
Yeah, you're
when
good.
There's only two choices. Gurf, start us off. Say hello to the people.
Hi, people. Welcome. It's that lovely time of the year. I know, I just said it. We get it 3 times a year, but playoff season is back. It's my favorite part of VAD because we finally get to see who is going to make it, who is going to break, and, of course, who's going to be champion at the end of it. But I'm super excited to get into this. Arland, how you doing, buddy?
I'm coming off of a long forced layover, so I'm finally excited to get back into the casting gig. It's very fun, especially, like you said, it's playoff season, so we finally get to put some theories to the test on who is the better team overall.
And we are going to be figuring that out. First up tonight, we will be watching the Spartans versus the Eagles. A nice kind of back and forth match that we're starting off with here. And that can kind of weave us into some predictions. We have a little bit of a bracket ready. And we also have all of us have some brackets ready to go as well
We
to
do.
throw down our predictions as well. So as you can see, this is going to be our lineup here, as well as the matchups for a lot of these matches. Gurf, which one of these, I mean, if we weren't going to be watching Spartans versus Eagles, which one of these matches would you be very interested in watching?
Oh, see, we got a couple good, I mean, I say a couple, they're all fantastic to see. Astronauts Lion, I think, is going to be an absolute banger matchup tonight, just because we know the Astronauts, we know how crazy these guys have been, but it's the Lions that I'm kind of looking at as the dark horse here, the underdogs, coming in as that 4th seed from Group B. I think they've got a lot of potential there. I think there could be a potential upset, but Astronauts, the fact that they won last split under the name of Hammerheads, that's going to be a tough cookie to break there. Phantoms Nocturnals could be also banger too, and I think Hornets. I don't want to toss Bandits in the trash here. No pun intended. But I love the players there. Hornets are just a very, very strong team. I think it's going to be a little bit of a one-sided match there. So all of them super fun to watch, but I think we got our eyes on a couple big ones for sure tonight.
What about you, Arlen? Any one of these teams you're really looking to bring it all home? Any of these first quarterfinal matches look like particular bangers to you?
In terms of teams to bring it home, obviously, Gerv said it best. The Astronauts, they are being kind of unbeatable, very, very strong team, and I'm honestly looking at them to kind of win it all. But if we're talking about, maybe some dark horses, definitely the Phantoms. I think they can do a little bit of damage to the Astronauts. They could maybe bring it to us a very interesting 5-game series semifinals, or maybe it's going to be more the same it was all season with the Astronauts just kind of sweeping them. Then, we're getting into the lower bracket. I think the Hornets have a chance to make it out against the Bandits, but I think against the rest of the lower bracket, whether it be the Spartans or the Eagles who advance tonight, I don't think they're going to go much further. And then, depending on whether it's the Spartans or the Eagles, that's who we're going to be looking at in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, all right, intense. And as we were just talking about it, we have a little bit of a visual representation of our lovely casters' predictions as well. Gurf, do you want to start us off with your predictions here?
Okay, yeah. I'll put myself on the chopping block first here too. Done a few of these. Majority have been okay, but we'll see how it goes this split for sure too. So I've gone ahead, done my predictions here. This is how I think the playoffs are gonna go. I've got Astronauts going 2-1 on Lions. I think Lions could still get a game here, but Astronauts are going to be the favorite team going in. That 1A seed is very, very strong. I've got Nocturnals going 2-1 over the Phantoms tonight. Hornets 2-0 over Bandits. And I've got tonight, for our prediction actually on the Tonight series on stream, 2-1 for Eagles. I think Spartans have some strong members there, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But overall, I think Eagles will get it. Semifinals, though, I've got Astronauts beating Nocturnals 3-2. That's going to be a tight matchup. Hornets still a tough team to beat, and then all the way in finals there. I think you and Arlen and I might be on the same page in terms of who is our favorites at the very end. But I think finals is going to be a banger, especially if we see 1A and 1B making it the entire way. It's going to be a banger.
All right, there you have it. Gurf thinks that it's going to be Hornets versus Astronauts. And how different are we looking if we take a peek at Arlen's bracket?
Uh-oh.
Hold
on.
What is
I made a mistake with the Astronauts versus the Phantoms. I forgot that best of 5 series only go to 3. I meant to say a 3-1 for the Astronauts, because I do believe that when they get going, they kind of have one match, to kind of play around a little bit. But I do believe when they get going, they are kind of unbeatable. And that's where I'm kind of banking on their strength as a team. Once they just get together, they just are unstoppable. They are unbreakable, unbeatable, and that's what they're going to be doing to the Phantoms. Although I do believe the Phantoms are strong enough to beat out the Nocturnals, and they will get there, and they will take one match, but it's not going to be close for the rest of the series. On the bottom side of it, I do believe the Hornets beat out the Bandits by those 2 games. Spartans, it's going to be a good series tonight. I think it's going to be a close series, a nice hotly contested 3-game banger, but I think the Eagles are going to be taking this one, moving on to face the Hornets, which is also going to be another 5-game banger. But I think at the end of the day, the Astronauts are just too dominant of a team to really give any games over to the Eagles, who kind of had a shakier season.
All right, and now we're gonna get into something that is a little bit fun. I'm gonna do my live predictions
Yeah.
right now. Fill out. All right, so we should be able to see here. Oh, okay. I gotta use the correct thing on the correct layer here. Excuse me. Now we should be able to see me live draw my predictions here. I'm kind of a fan of like what Arlen was saying. I'm a really big fan of this thought process. I think that the astronauts, they're like in space, they're going to the stars, the moon, they're doing phenomenal.
Love
I think that they're gonna 2-0 the Lions tonight. I'm sorry,
Ooh.
Lions. It just
Ooh, yeah.
it's hard. You're playing against the first seed of the A group, so things are a little bit stacked. Astronauts have been on a heater, so I think that they are definitely. How do you spell astronauts? I've got this. Nope, I spelled it wrong. Whatever.
Yes,
You
the
know,
short
that's
form,
pretty
short form,
close.
that's what I do because
I should have done something like that here. We can draw a little space helmet. We're just gonna draw Among Us.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's
yep,
starting to look
there we
like
go.
it's a little sus, but yeah. I see it.
It works, you know. Moving on to Nocturnals versus Phantoms. I feel like we watched Phantoms have such a great start at the beginning of the season and then just kind of fall apart a little bit towards the end. They were somebody that I really thought was gonna kind of shine a little bit stronger towards the end because they seemed really strong at the beginning, but in the end, I think that it will be a close fight between Nocturnals and Phantoms, but I do think the Phantoms are going to get it 2-1, but I do think it will be hard fought, and then the Phantoms will do like a little spooky ghost here.
I'm already scared.
Ooh.
You know what? There was the Phantom Curse many splits ago. I thoroughly been broken, thoroughly been beaten. I think this is another really strong iteration of the Phantoms too. A little question mark what happened mid-season with a certain player, but we'll see how they are with their full squad here this week. See how they do.
Yeah, stuff happens, and you know, COVID's been going around. I was sick with it last week, so I understand. Some things get a little crazy, but going on to this bottom half, I'm sorry for the bandits and what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Because I really like the little raccoons, and I think that they're great. But again, it's kind of another astronaut situation. If you're playing against the first seed as the fourth seed, I'm sorry, but that's what I think it's gonna be. And then we can do a little bee here with a little stinger.
I love it. Hello, bees. Hello.
Yeah, we'll
Save the
save the bees.
Gotta save the bees.
Here we go. Save the bees. The hornets are coming in.
These are actually incredible little doodles, and I won't spoil it, but Becky's got some skills here. I gotta say, this is amazing.
All right, and then we're going to our match that we're going to be watching tonight. Wow, my handwriting leaves a little to be desired. Please forgive me for that, but
It's
you know,
legible.
we're doing our best.
You know what? I can read.
Yeah, sort of. My save the bees is a little rough, but it's okay. This is hard because I feel like we did successfully pick what I think will be like the closest match of this starting quarterfinals, and you all both predicted the Eagles are gonna take this one down, right? That's
so.
where y'all ended. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cause problems.
Yes, good. Throw a wrench in the plans. I see how it is.
I'm gonna somebody's gotta play devil's advocate here, and I'm willing for it to be me. I don't really know what to draw here. We're gonna do like the little Spartan helmet, I
This is
guess.
Sparta. Yep.
This is Sparta. Perfect. It looks kind of like the Trojans logo, USC. Let's go.
Almost like a Greek
I'm from
Among
Southern
Us.
California,
don't know
so I
about
gotta.
that.
You're right. It does. So you know, I think that the Spartans are gonna throw a wrench into the plan. Do I continue to throw wrenches into the plans?
Yes,
That's gonna
absolutely.
be
Hot takes
yes.
are what's
Okay.
needed for playoffs because if they
All
come
right.
true, you just feel like
Somebody-
an absolute champ.
I probably won't, but you know, let's go ahead. Let's say Phantoms. Something awakens inside of them.
Oh my.
They found their stride. They take down astronauts. Astronauts don't even make it. And the spooky ghosts get to make it all the way to the end. I got worse at drawing a ghost. It's kind of melting, but you know, it's gonna have to go super hot fire if they want to take down the astronauts. So they're
okay.
probably
Okay.
gonna be feeling it too. Spartans versus Hornets, though. I feel like I'm done throwing wrenches in plans. I think I gotta go back and give it to Hornets. I think the Spartans will be able to take down a game, but I think that Hornets are just gonna be a little bit stronger. So it's gonna be the Little Bees versus the Phantoms.
Okay.
At the end here, I got a little bee legs. And then who do I think is gonna? I think if we get to this point, I think that the Hornets actually have a pretty good chance of bringing it all home. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's gonna be a 3-1 in the finals. And the Bees, they're gonna come and they're gonna save the Bees.
Save themselves.
Save themselves.
Not bad.
In the finals.
You know what? If it does end up being a Phantoms Hornets there, Hornets is a really strong team. They are a hot contender here. You got multiple players who have either won this league before or have been to finals multiple times. So I wouldn't doubt it to see a strong team like that all the way in finals and potentially take it all. Even if it is the Astronauts in finals, it's going to be tight if it doesn't.
Yeah. So I'm looking for some wrenches to be thrown in plans. That does require that the Astronauts are going to lose. And our final little friend here in Heimerdinger, who will win.
Look how good
Who knows? We're here to find out.
That's pretty good.
I know, right?
I thought it was a little fun. I was like, how chaotic can I be with my little prediction chart? And then I was like, well, I'm going to like set up my tablet and I'm just going to draw it. And then Gurf was like, you could draw it live. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. These are my predictions. They're a little unhinged, but you know what? So am I. And I would love for some upsets, some underdog stories to come through. And, let's see what craziness we can achieve in some of these games. It's been a crazy season overall. We've seen some crazy picks, some crazy champions get used. So why can't we just continue with the craziness,
Playoffs is all about craziness. I mean, this is the time for teams to bring out those picks that they might have been hiding throughout the split. They might have been practicing off stream. So I really, really enjoy seeing what these teams are going to bring out. Going full stops. Is it going to be in quarterfinals? Do they wait all the way till finals? You don't want to miss out on your chance. So it's just a great time seeing all these players giving it their best. And we're in for some really spicy games coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and speaking of players giving it their best, what do you think are each of these teams' strengths as we're going into this game? Gurf, start us off.
So we got a little bit more time until we actually get into draft for game number 1, but looking at these two teams, again, both have their individual strengths that I was kind of assessing, and actually starting with the Spartans first, because they are going to be on blue side, so, we'll go left to right, I guess, the way we're doing it here. Individually, I think lane-wise, you have some really, really strong players. You've got some really, really strong lanes. Up in that top lane, Azarex is a bit of a beast. I'm going to be watching out for him. But as well, the bot lane, I think, needs to be shown a little bit of respect. A lot of enchanters, I think, being picked up by Rested just enable Sniper even more. And I think this player has really improved Sniper over the past few splits he's been here. Has taken a step up and really now in the form of a scary ADC to be respected. But flip it over to Eagles. Based on, some match history we saw during the crossover weeks, Eagles did, in fact, take down Spartans. And it was a really close game, so a lot of that is due to team sense, due to the macro, and due to a lot of the shot calling that comes down from Feathers and Fur. I think the overall macro is going to be something we need to be looking out for on the Eagles, because that is going to be their strength. And if these games end up going to that point where macro ends up taking over and those shot calls ends up being the thing, then it doesn't matter how strong you were in lane, because if you're getting out-rotated and outplayed and outmaneuvered, that's where it's going to bite Spartans in the rear end.
Yeah, any thoughts you want to expound upon with that, Arlen?
I mean, Gurf's absolutely right. At the end of the day, you can kind of divide league into two separate things, right? You can divide into the micro and to the macro. And the micro, it takes place in those early games, and that's just all about domination. How good are you at that champion, at that lane, at that time? And then macro, how good are you at, playing with your team, moving around the map, taking objectives at the right time, at the right moment, and using them to their fullest, pushing the limits of what you can do in the game. And, right now we're looking at Eagles, who are kind of nearing that point of the event horizon, right? Like they're nearing the point of being so good at that macro that they can just, come back and play very, very well from behind if they're able to draft themselves a good team comp that's solid throughout all stages of the game. And then they get to the point where macro just takes over.
Beautifully said. All right, now we get to talk about some of the good things, some of the spicy things that we've been seeing throughout this season. So, with some of those strengths, what do you think are champions that we're going to be seeing for both of these teams? If you want to start us off, Gurf.
Well, right off the top of my head, still the most present champ and most winning Volibear is a major threat here in the VAD, and that's something that Whiskey Lion is pretty dang good at, so keep an eye out for that one. There's a lot of spicy stuff we could potentially see, right? Playoffs is when we get all the spicy picks. Zeri seems to be a flex for Spartans, either mid or ADC, so we could see it in the mid lane for GVG being played AP, or down for Sniper as the classic AD option. I think that's going to be potentially really fun to watch. These mid laners actually do bring out a lot of wild stuff. There's been a Singe in the mid for GVG. He's played Tryndamere, but Righteous has also whipped out the Bel'Veth mid, so it's going to be absolutely wild to see what happens there. But Arlen, how about you? Any eyes on for champs tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking more to the top side because Featherstone, he's known to be more of that slower, tank player, and if you're playing into someone like Daz who can bust out the Fiora, can bust out the that whole range of Dassy champions who do too much damage, Camille, Fiora, Irelia, Riven, the list goes on, right? Gwen is in there as well. If they can bust that out, that's going to get really dangerous for your resident tank player. So you need to make sure you pick him in the draft at a time where they can't really bust that out, or if they do bust it out, you have enough flexibility within your own draft to really move him around and get him out of such a bad matchup, or trick them and try and dominate them with a good 2v2, and the top side as well. You talked a little bit about the Bel'Veth mid angle. That one maybe shy away from. She's very weak in the early game, and it's really hard to play around that, especially in the mid lane. Maybe in the top side where you can kind of sit her on an island, cross map and get her a really strong laning phase. I can definitely see that working. But it kind of requires a lot of coordination coming from your jungle and coming from your top laner. In the mid lane, it's just so incredibly hard to do because you have to deal from two different angles, right?
Exactly true and beautifully said, and I look forward to hearing more beautiful and amazing words from both of you as we get down. I believe we are ready to go into our draft, our first quarterfinals match, and we're gonna see how exactly this is about to shake up. Gurf and Arlen, thank you so much for keeping me company on this desk, but I will see you down on the rift.
Thank you so much, Becky. Here we go. Time for game number 1 of the playoffs. Oh, it literally gives me chills. I've been here a few splits, Arlen, and it never gets old how much fun this is, how exciting this is. So here we go. We'll see if some of our predictions are true, if we're going to get some of these wilder picks here in game number 1. I don't know. What's it worth? Do you bring out the crazy stuff game 1 saying, hey, you know what? We're not down 0-1. We're not up 1-0. We're not risking anything, really. Let's give it our all. Or do they wait until game 2 to say, okay, we got to bust out the big guns now?
I like, when I do stuff like that, I like to save my hidden picks, for either when my back's against the wall, or if, I have something even crazier to bust out when I'm up 1-0 and I have a game to lose, right? I have one in game every series, so I'm going to bust it out in game 2 when we're up that series. But, I think you can bust it out game 1 here because, it's a lot more important than just a bunch of scrims or just a bunch of regular season series, right? It's finals, it's quarterfinals. So just go all out from the start, force them to ban out your special picks, and then you have time to play on your normal picks, right? If you play out a Master Yi jungle versus instead of the Volibear, and the Master Yi smashes, then they're forced to ban out the Master Yi instead of the Volibear, and that's where you can really start to shine this pick ban.
Yeah. We do see these teams have, in fact, done their homework. You see the Volibear getting taken away from Whiskey Lion. Lucian from Sniper as well, too. Zeri is going to be taken off the board. And, yeah, this is actually a lot of good bans coming here. Wukong is also another huge pick for Can You Dig It? So I like the fact that these teams are here, ready, prepared. And we're going to start it off. Little fun Yordle time. A little biased for this champion, but she's great. She's great. And it does fit into the role of both these supports. They are very proficient on a lot of these enchanters, so I would expect to be seeing those from both of them tonight. Leaning more to the poke heavy side for the Eagles, though. That is definitely favorable for the Kumi and Sunny. So wouldn't be too surprised to see a Soraka, a Nami as well to answer that too. It kind of neutralizes when you put two enchanters against each other like that too.
Yeah, a little bit, but one enchanter I'd say kind of bucks that trend is the Seraphine, which is the Eagles gonna pick because she possesses quite a lot of damage. And you compare her with super strong stuff like the Senna. She can go mid and really enable something like a Zinzao or an Udyr or a Hecarim, right? She has so much versatility in the draft. She's just an absolutely insane pickup, and like I said, she kind of does flip that script. She can play like a long range poke mage like the Xerath, but she does the healing, she does the shielding of something of a Lulu. And it's really hard for that Lulu to really step into range and try to make a play happen or really polymorph her or really do anything to this because Seraphine just possesses so much range, movement speed, and shielding. It's going to make this lane so much harder. But the Eagles do end up picking a Caitlyn. Now it's just a matter of what do they pick for the Spartans to counter that or deal with that. It really kind of takes away those shorter range options, really makes it hard to play. Maybe an Aphelios comes out, maybe a Jinx comes out. I wouldn't mind it here, but the Twitch. He has been taking over solo queue.
Close the gap, get in their face before they even know what's going on, and twitch them to death. It's not bad. The Lulu Twitch has always been a fantastic option, right? You toss the W from the Lulu and a shield. If any bonuses from the support items is going to be huge when that Twitch starts unloading. But back to that Seraphine pick, I do like it. The fact that it was picked up R1 along with the Caitlyn R2 because still, while that is, I would think, going to be in the hands of Sunny, still a potential flex pick for Righteous. So I really like that it's been picked up there. Kane going to be coming through. Another pick for Kenny Dig. It doesn't come out too often, but when it does, when it gets rolling, that's going to be quite big. And a little bit more incentive seeing that Seraphine Caitlyn be like, questionable blue play this time. We got a lot more picks to decide until I think Can You Dig It decides that option.
Yeah, and I see the Kane, and my mind just kind of instantly jumps to a champion that we've been seeing played a lot more in LCK. I believe it's kind of jumped up in priority ever since Peanut started just blind picking it. The Poppy, right? I'm pretty sure we've all seen the Poppy flash over Dragon Pit wall level 2 and create an insane cross map situation for his weaker bot lane, and they just rolled the game through that with Gen G, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. And it's even better into a Kane, right? He's really limited in what he can do by a Poppy because she can smash him through the walls that he wants to hop into. She can stop him from dashing around, and the only real tool he has into her is his W, and even that kind of gets negated by her shield, by her movement speed, by her her own slow. So I really do like the Poppy here, but they might see it coming from the Spartans and ban that out for the Eagles if the Eagles have it in their back pocket. But here comes Feathers and Furs Ornn, and this one can get really dangerous because, like I said, the Fiora is still up, the Irelia is still up, the Camille is still up, because everything that really hurts the Ornn is still up there.
See the Belveth also getting banned out.
I saw it.
You know what? Respect on that. Same with the respect being put on Dazrex for his Mordekaiser. Ornn, back to that R3 pick. Classic pickup for Feathers and Fur. Amazing. Just piloting this guy. He's just so super consistent every time he plays it. So I really like the fact that one is coming through. But what would be some answers to that weren't up in that top lane? Arlen, what do you think?
Well, the traditional answer is the Camille, is the Fiora, if you can play it, right? If they're available, you can go for it. The Darius is also a very strong answer into it, and he really just kind of counters Ornn at all levels with, the true damage, of course, Ornn can't deal with. He has % armor pin on an ability, and most importantly, he can pull Ornn out of his ultimate, which is the biggest part and the most scary thing I'm really looking at. All the other champions kind of deal with it as it comes to them, like Camille can hop over it, Fiora can parry it, but Darius is one of the few options that can really deal with it before it even becomes an issue for him. And that's kind of what we're looking at, something lane dominating on the top side. And for the Eagles, you kind of have to pick your mid laner here so you can counter pick for your jungler in like a perfect situation, because you really need something to protect top side, and you really don't want to, blind pick it into, what could be a mid laner or what could be, a random top laner, but they're going to go for the Sejuani instead.
Okay, some tankiness, some safetiness. That's not word. Yeah, but
Safe.
That's you mentioned a big one. It's Dazrex's Fiora. This guy's I said coming into this on the analyst desk how much of a beast he is. That's his champion. Fiora is like his main bay, if you want to call it that. I haven't heard that in like years. That's old language, but yeah, there it is. He knows that's absolute terrifying champion in the hands of Dazrex, and I think you said it right, Arlent, and what's going to be dealing with it. Their post is very nice to have as well, but an Echo. There's a lot of mobility, a lot of assassins, a lot of potential here for the Spartans crew. And again, it's more in your face, and I think this is a comp that they've drafted that requires a lot of proactivity versus what Eagles have. They can kind of sit back. They can let them make them first mistake if they make a mistake. I don't want to say Spartans are going to be out here to split all over the place, but they definitely have the more reactive build here coming in, especially with a Corky now too. That's a lot of poke.
Wow.
You can sit back, you can tank up with the Orange Sejuani and just poke. So I think this one, Arlen, is going to be in the hands of Spartans to be proactive, make the plays, and get stuff started.
And it's not even just make the plays, because like you look at both sides, and it's really all about the Eagles who can actually make plays, right? They have an Ornn, they have a Sejuani, they have a Corky package, they have a Seraphine. They could make the plays, they can disengage. They don't have to take any fight that they don't ever want to. And the Spartans, all they have is a Twitch sneaking up, or lucky Echo W, or Kane coming in from an off angle. And probably Kane wants to go red form here, because I don't see blue being all that beneficial for his team, really. You know, too many tanks, a Seraphine cut through. It's really hard for blue to get rolling here. But I'm just looking at the Spartans, and it's like this team comp is so scarily hard for them, right? Because you have two guys who kind of want to split the map. You have an Echo Fiora who want to split the map to top and bot. You have a 3-man stack of the Lulu, Twitch, Kane who just want to sit mid lane, farm up, and don't die to any engage from the Eagles. But the Eagles literally just deathball and run down that 3-man stack, and then all of a sudden Fiora and Echo have to back, and they have to go back and deal with that. But at the same time, they do have a lot of side lane pressure that they can really exert. Nobody on the Eagles can match the side lane pressure. Corky can only match Echo for so long, and then he can never match Fiora. Ornn can only match Fiora for so long. He can kind of match the Echo depending on the Echo's build and what he goes, if he's going for an assassin or more of a bruiser style to hit the turrets. Either way, super hard composition coming out from the Spartans. But like you said, if they're able to get rolling early, really hard snowballing composition that the Eagles, it's going to be hard for them to slow down the pace of the game enough to where they can scale up. Because I'm really looking at the one issue with their draft, and it's got to be that Caitlyn. She's such a weak ADC right now.
Yeah, and again, it's just back to the comfort for Kumi in the poke composition, right? They can sit back, they can poke. It's only an issue if the Twitch Lulu gets on top of them. And if the Kane comes down too, right? We can look for potential TP plays if the Eagles are too far pushed up in that bot lane. But you mentioned the scaling fact too. I've seen a few Corkies recently across the board in the AM leagues, and yeah, late game Corky. No joke whatsoever. Those rockets are brutal to deal with. So yeah, that's going to be eventually taking over if this game goes late. But you mentioned another very important part, which was the split pushing. Fiora is an absolute, again, monster for being able to do that late game, and no one's going to be able to answer her unless they go 5-man dog pile on the Fiora, take care of her. But again, that exposes you on other ends of the map, and it's up to the Spartans then to make those plays if they see the numbers heading up to the top lane for Dazarex.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking a little bit, about the difference between these two teams and which team is better at macro or which team is better at micro. And, the team that's doesn't really necessarily rely as much on the macro, the Eagles, their whole team composition is a lot more micro focused, a lot more just run at them, hit your ultimates, and kill everybody with your abilities. And versus the Spartans, who they do have a lot of micro involved in their kits individually, but in terms of macro, it has to be so much greater than the Eagles to really pull them apart, pull them around the map, move them in multiple different places. Or else you're just going to be, sitting upstream without a paddle, and it's going to be so incredibly difficult for you to do anything, because this Fiora needs to be unlocked, but this Echo needs to be unlocked, this Kane needs to be unlocked, this Twitch needs it. It's just a lot of gold, high gold composition versus a very relatively low gold competition coming from the Eagles.
Gotta find the keys. They gotta find their ways in this game, and I'm so excited to see how it does break down, because yeah, both these teams have a few angles, few options on how they can approach this game. But yeah, it goes back to those two main points, those two team strengths, individual laner strengths. Definitely Spartans' favorite for what they have drafted here. But team fighting, you mentioned it here, and I just kind of like breezed over that. I'm like, oh yeah, they got pick. They got Seraphine, they got Ornn, they got Sejuani. That is a lot of long range distance engaged. So super excited to see how this one breaks down. But we are going to take a short little break while we get ready for game number 1. So make sure to get those predictions in. They are timing out in just a few moments. So if you haven't already, let us know who you think is going to win this first one of tonight's best of 3 between Spartans and Eagles. And again, whoever wins is going to semifinals next week. Whoever loses, their playoff dreams are done. Their season ends here. Who will it be? Find out in just a few moments. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the VAD quarterfinals. It is the first week of playoffs. We got 2 more to go. But this first match we're seeing here on stream going to be the Spartans taking on the Eagles. Might notice a couple different names just on different accounts, but it is the same person. Gent, can you dig it? And Narcissism, it is rested, had a little bit of lobby issues, but we got him back in there. Everything's good. And now we get into this game, and Arlen, you and I were chatting a little bit about this one coming into this first game. A few things we got to be looking out for, specifically with the Spartans, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking mostly at the Kane. It's all about his pathing in this game, as we see Whiskey Lion and Squad just walking in, poking out Narcissism a little bit, just wanted to drop a ward. And I like this ward because it kind of leads into what I was going to say. They need these kind of early game wards to really spot out Gent's pathing, because the most important thing here is the Kane. If the Kane is able to get a split map situation and isolate top side for the side of the Spartans, Fior is going to win the game, solo carry the game hands down, and they can't do anything about it because Echo is more than willing to abandon this lane. He can't really do anything in it anyway. Fior will always have priority on the top side, and Kane versus Sejuani, I mean, come on. Like, it's obvious Kane's going to win that, right? So this split map situation, if they're able to achieve it, Kane will win so incredibly hard. This game is going to be so free. With this ward, you kind of can, tell a little bit earlier whether or not Kane is on that side of the map, when he's going to be going to that red buff. If he ever hits that red buff, it's super important. Same thing on the top side for the Ornn as well.
So yeah, got to keep an eye out for that pathing, where Gent is going to be going, or can you dig it? So watch out for that one. I'll do my best, doing prod and casting tonight. It'll be a little questionable. I've done it a few times, but hey, you know what? A little rust needs to get worn off first before we're good to go. Eyes also up on this top lane too on Dazorex. Gotta watch out for the farming, because Feathers and Fur, some of the most impressive farming on an Ornn. I always go back to this stat. His 11.5 CS per minute on one of his Ornn games is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous to see. So it is going to be tough to kind of contend with that. But as we're going in this game, there should be some split pushes. I think you got a little pause there too, Arlen?
Yeah, just a little bit of a bust.
I think we clap our hands 3 times, snap our fingers once, and then
Spin around in our chairs a few times.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little spin around.
Oh, it works.
We're back. It literally is just that easy, folks. But here we go. Just a few minute pauses. Do have Gent roaming around though. Just a simple clear for now. Potentially roam from Whiskey Line up to this top lane though, Arlen.
Ooh, yeah, I want to highlight his pathing a little bit. He skipped over his wolves to make this play happen, so it's a lot earlier than most top laners are usually expecting. It's usually expecting, the 3 minutes. As Dazzler, very nice parry, very nice dash, get away from that. But yeah, most top laners, they usually expect that gank to happen around 3 minutes. They ward around 3 minutes, right? That happened around 250, right? So 10 seconds earlier, all because they skipped over that camp, and they're going to be able to get to this top side. And kind of the situation which would be expected.
Look at
Again,
this
coming in through the bot lane.
Yeah, Jen's looking for it. Kumi right now already down to half, forced to flash away. Sunny will at least get a root down on to Sniper. But again, 2 ganks now avoided. Both teams putting a little bit of resources in, but it is, I think, Spartans winning out slightly more since they got the flash from Kumi.
Yeah, just a little bit more, not too much, because you look at the warding situation, you look at how well they're tracking Gent here. He does have a camp over the Sejuani, but he's kind of up the creek without a paddle, right? He doesn't really know what to go, what to do, whether he not invades this right here. If his jungle tracking is on point, he knows that Sejuani isn't down here. Sejuani will be topside. As GVG didn't.
Yeah, GVG's in trouble. We got another fight breaking out in the bot lane too, as Sunny gets pushed in, but GVG still on the chase right now. Righteous flashing over the wall, but tumbling and dashing and rolling as the Echo does with his phase dive. They're going to take the blast cone, but cannot find this Echo. Potential roam up to the top lane. Lovely stuff, though, from both sides. Looking for the picks.
Yeah, both teams making early game opportunities, and that's exactly what you want to do. Not quite so much on the Sejuani. You kind of want to let her scale up to that level 6 point, but I do like this invade coming through from Whiskey Line. They recognize that Kane started on the top side. This is just a nice little free Gromp, and they're going to pick that up. They are behind about 2 camps, I do believe, if my math serves me correctly, but picking up this camp will allow them to boost their own economy once they get back onto their clearing track, once they pick up their own Krugs, once they pick up their wolves, once they pick up their own Gromp. Very nice situation coming through for Whiskey Line. And the first real item comes through. It's going to be a serrated Dirk for Gent.
This though, massive wave up top. Whiskey comes over the wall, does get spotted by the ward, but should be able to at least get this passive off though. Feather's not walking up quite yet. There's going to be a little exchange. Dazrix does end up getting a grasp stack off of that, so in the end, not necessarily the worst for that Fiora.
Yeah, it's a hard gank right there because, like you said, huge wave for Feathers of Fur. He can't just abandon it, let it crash into turret. He has to go, try to help his jungler at the same time as well. It's just a hard thing for him to, do anything about. So Dazric was free to trade into the Sejuani as much as he wanted, and that's just what we saw. So he's going to shove that lane in, probably look for a reset sooner or later. He does have both top laners have teleport up here. The Echo also has teleport as the gank happens in the mid lane.
Gentle, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out.
Nice Valkyrie.
Yeah, not quite able to find the stun. And again, yeah, very nice Valkyrie. Saving it to the last minute. You don't want to pop it right away because that can sometimes catch you out, especially with two assassins that are chasing you down. They got a lot of mobility. So, very nice stuff. Again, the TPs are going to be used very early. And going back to those points we were chatting about a little bit off stream, this is really up to the Eagles to just kind of bunker down during this laning phase and hold on till they get to that 20-ish minute mark. You know what? That means let a couple dragons go. Yes, early ocean is nice, especially for Fiora, but is it going to be worth it if you guys end up losing out on your early game trades? Because once we get into this late game, the team fight is going to be, I would say, slightly superior for the Eagles. But they have to get to that point first, Sarlent.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, they just have to bunker down. They just have to understand that they don't really have to do anything for the Eagles. They can give up these drakes, right? They can let them go by. They don't need to take them. They will have priority in the bot side. They will have priority in the mid lane, so they can take them whenever they want. But if you show yourself taking the drake bot side, you leave your top lane open for a dive. You leave them open for counter jungling. It's just hard for Feathers and Fur to really do anything if that situation does happen. But at the same time, for the Spartans, they have to be trying to take every little skirmish, every little fight, every little objective they can to boost up their, relatively weak late game composition into this face of this massive, massive team fight that's eventually going to start rolling for the side of the Eagles.
Yeah, proactivity is #1 for the Spartans right now. And it's going to be made a little difficult with that Brambles up in the top lane for Feathers and Fur. Dazrix, though, is not going to stop looking for trades. That is just a classic Dazrix. We'll get in your face. We'll make life difficult for you, but Feathers is holding it down so far. It's still very early on, only 7.5 minutes into this game. No first blood quite yet, but the gold, it is pretty darn even. I think it's just the exception of a few early camps and a few early CSing. But for now, things are pretty dang even, and that's exactly where you want to be if you're the Eagles. We are not negative. We are not above. We are just sitting neutral until we get to our mark, which is going to be fantastic. I do believe we are going to see this dragon being picked. Gent does have the smite if needed. Yeah, so should be fine. Able to get that one as first dragon of the game. Picked up, secured, locked down, no problemo.
Yeah, super good for the Echo here, who's under quite a lot of fire, quite literally from the rockets, from the autos, from the Qs. So this is going to be super helpful for him. Very helpful for the bot side as well because, they're very poked out. But on the top side of the map, it's kind of a flip map situation of what we really expected going into this. Both teams, they kind of reverse engineered their game plans, and they're going to be going backwards. Sejuani up on the top side taking that Rift Herald, because Feathers and Fur somehow has priority in this lane into a Fiora on the Orange, so playing this matchup very, very well himself.
Yep, Rift Herald secured, so going to be interesting to see what lane they actually decide to take it to. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Coming into this game, I was predicting that they were going to be playing through topside a lot. For the Spartans, make sure to get Dazrix ahead on that Fiora. It just becomes incredibly difficult to deal with as it snowballs. But you're right, it's a bit of a flip situation where we've seen more of the Spartans heading to the bot side and more of the Eagles actually send up to the top lane, which we are probably going to see in a couple more seconds.
Absolutely, as we see Sejuani going for a gank up there in the top side, doesn't commit the ultimate, so it's not really a real possibility, a real threat. Kane just farming up his camps. Yeah, not too much to talk about here. I think, yeah, we're just chilling. I think, if it was one thing we could talk about, we can talk about, how do we advance the game state? How do we push the game forward if we're the side of the Spartans, which is what we want? Well, first things first, we need to get this Kane rolling. He needs more stacks. He needs, whether it's blue or red or whatever he's going for, he just needs more of it, right? He needs to be invading constantly. He needs to be fighting. We need to be making plays around this Fiora. We need to be using the Fiora's priority, the pressure, the Echo ability to roam and leave lane so super quickly, so super frequently. And the invisibility of Twitch and the mobility, offered to him by the Lulu as...
He uses dash already. Oh no! Glacial is going to go a little wide on that one. Number gets very lucky off of that. We do have Rested making his way to the mid lane just as a little extra support, but no kills. Still not yet. We just passed the 10-minute mark not too long ago, but these teams, you know what? I tend to see it sometimes in playoffs. No one wants to be the first one to make a mistake in playoffs, but somebody's got to make a move, especially if you're the Spartans. You're totally right, is that we need to see this Kane get rolling. We need to see the stacks being picked up. With that last back, they did pick up the Caulfield and an extra longsword, so a little bit more damage should help out. I don't know if Gent's going to be able to find something down here, considering wave state is pretty neutral right now. Kumi's going to be able to push this out. And then I think we're... No, they actually just went for back. I take it back. I looked at the goal. I'm like, no, they're fine. So going to be in lane for a little while longer. And not too much on this side of the map. So I really want to see more focus towards that top lane, Arland.
Absolutely. And this is kind of reminding me of Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, if you were unfortunate to watch that match. Absolutely nothing happened for, I think, like the first 27 minutes, and then everything happened in like the last 7 minutes of the game. 100 Thieves is absolutely clean sleep. We might be seeing a kind of situation exactly like that, as a very nice ward from Righteous spots out Jint. It's going to be dropping the Rift Hill in the mid lane, and it's going to be Righteous.
Yeah, no, GVG's taking a lot of damage. Always going to use the ulti to get on back. Righteous with a third stack. Going to take the electrocute too. In goes Gent, but it's first blood for GVG. Whiskey Lion looking to trade it back. Sunny has now shown up. That's going to be the encore. Charmed up. GVG goes down, but the Umbral Trespass will be used. And Gent picks one up for himself. Stunned underneath the tower. Sunny trades it right on back. I believe it's a 2 for 2. But both teams on the board with some kills.
Absolutely. Very nice roam from Sunny. Really liked it a lot. Came through clutch without Sunny roaming there. Definitely lost. Right. Very, very nice roam. Very nice parry from Dazzler's coming through from the top side as well. But no, we're looking at them drop this Rift Herald in the mid lane, and it's the smart play. You want to get this Corki ahead. He's the biggest late game damage dealer your team has. Kumi is going to fall off eventually. Caitlyn just isn't at that old stage where she used to just rip through everybody in the late game. Now she's a much more, early game oriented pick. Ornn, what the heck is the point of boosting an Ornn, right? Except in levels. The only thing you really want is the XP on him, not really so much the gold. So I like the situation. I like the opportunity. They just read it coming, and now Jint has blue form, and this is where the Kane can really get going. I don't so much like it in the team fight sense, but if they're able to play the macro game, and really move Jin around the map, really move Dazzlerix and GVG number 1 around the map, then we're going to be seeing a lot more use coming from this Kane, because he can just run through the wall so quickly, so often. It's really, really hard for them to deal with that.
Absolutely. A lot of mobility, and with this Dragon up, both junglers are on the side of the map, so expect to see a little scrapping, I think, in the next couple minutes. That encore from Sunny, though, is going to be a huge part of this initiation, same with the Ornhorn, so Feathers does have the TP up to get down here if needed, and encore should be up in a quick little check here, 29 seconds, so if this fight does end up breaking out, or if they do decide to go for the Dragon right now, Spartans need to make that call immediately, knowing that Seraphine was Seraphine ulted mid not too long ago. So let's see. Numbers coming down. The dance shall begin, Arland.
The dance shall begin indeed. I don't necessarily think it does need to be dance, right? Because the Spartans can't fight it. Righteous has Corki package. You don't have a real way into the fight. You don't have any sort of true engage, and they can disengage at will with the Seraphine encore up. This isn't really a drink they can take. So just like that, the Eagles just get away with murder. Take the second drink of the game, and it is going to be Wind Dragon. So absolutely nothing.
GVG's in trouble again. No, the Glacier goes wide, but he kind of walks back into it. Slight slowed. Ults back. GVG, though, dealing with multiple numbers. Gets hit by the tail end of the encore, and that's going to be another kill picked up here for the Eagles. Lovely, lovely stuff. You do see, though, you leave one of these lanes alone, they're going to get pressure. A lot of damage done down to that bot lane turret. And again, keep your eyes on Dazzlerix for any split push, but lovely little pick there by the Eagles.
Very, very good little pick. And I kind of want to highlight, they kind of messed each other up a little bit, Righteous and Whiskey. Righteous did push you know, GBG out of the ultimate, out of the Glacial Prism coming through from Whiskey, but they just had so much damage with the Corki package, so much damage coming through, buffed up through with Seraphine. He had to ult back, and then he's on the opposite side of the Corki, you know, package Fire Trail. So incredibly hard. Very nice steal on the blue buff, and now they can start rotating members, grab up this second Herald, and they can put it top side, maybe unlock the Ornn a little bit. But
big. If they can pick Dazarex, it's going to be massive. Ornhorn is going to be popped. Feathers in first sending it. Does not quite land. Righteous, though, popping with the rockets. In comes Gent over the wall, trying to get the double knock up. Not quite going to be able to find it. Chilling Smite is there. Humble Trespass into the back line. Righteous is low, getting lower, and Gent able to pick up that kill. Grand Challenge will be popped. In comes the Echo. Can they find any more? Whiskey line getting low. One more auto will do it, but he's able to escape.
Wow.
Last little bit of healing from that potion saves his life, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 across the board.
That's why you pop your potions in the middle of fights, folks. That's the exact reason you see pro players spam their potions. But very, very nice stuff coming through from the side of Spartans to kind of turn that play around, get a kill in honestly a 2v3 situation as we're going to look for a dive top.
Feathers getting dived. That's going to be the Wild on to GVG, and Feathers does get taken out. Dazarex with the last little bit of shield, but no. Rested, not able to quite save him, comes very close. Another 1-for-1 just to trade up the top laners, but there might be some more pressure still to be applied on this top turret.
Yeah, Sniper just going to be unleashing the ultimate just to try to clear the wave, make it so they don't die from bot, but he does have Jit on his side of the map, and Kumi just took a turret shot.
Oh, that's the blue cane. He's in. He gets charmed by the Encore double there. Sniper Borka, though, with the cleanse, is going to try and get out of that one. Gent rooted up, dodges the Q. Nice trap to save it, but Ace in the Hole comes through. Sniper will live for that one. These are a lot of really tight fights, but no kills in that bot lane. Gent still looking for more, though.
Yeah, he's searching. I don't think he's going to find anything. And, you know, honestly, he's probably better off if he just goes back to farming his camps. Just staying around the area to help Sniper push this lane out so you can get a good back. But, Jen, you're taking a lot of damage there, pal. I think he realized that, too, as he runs away. One thing I just want to highlight, you know, as we reach first items coming through with everybody, is how late Jen bought this tier and how late his Mana Munia is going to eventually become if he, you know, obviously he's going to opt to go for it. It's going to be a very late, you know, tier item coming through for Jint here. It's going to be very hard for him to really find, not opportunities to stack it, but really find opportunities to lay off the gas pedal. He really needs to spike with every single item he buys. Every single serrated Dirk is going to count because he's going into 2 tanks and a Seraphine. He needs the lethality ASAP. He needs the armor pin, and I don't think he has the luxury of buying a Mana Munia.
GVG forced to ult out immediately.
Yeah.
Saw that Sejuani coming out of the jungle. Was like, you know what? Nope, I don't want to deal with that. But we do potentially have a fight breaking out in the mid lane as I fight with my camera real quick. Righteous, though, going to be walking on out. They're going to get cut off by Dazarex, though. Gent, is coming to cut him off. Interesting little flash there. Dazarex does get hit by the Sejuani ult, but the Ornhorn from downtown Umbral Trespass just in time to save his life. Gent comes out, immediately taken down, but Righteous is on the run right now, too. Dazarex chasing him down. One more audible do, gets hit by the knockup from Feathers. Does not matter. Grand Challenge will be popped. Dazarex heals back up to mainly full health and is just going to be shredding away at Feathers and Fur here until the Ornn eventually goes, damn, he's got so much health, that Ornn. But eventually he will go down. Spartans come out on top of that one.
Very, very nice stuff. And one thing I just kind of want to highlight is how well they play that fight. You know, they were juggling aggro back and forth with multiple members. Jint was the only one who dropped out of everybody there, and everybody else was just so really good at just kind of juggling the aggro, you know, back, you know, going forward. As we see Kumi going in for
spray and pray, baby, pull it, Sniper with the solo kill, but the Encore from over the wall. Sunny's looking for a solo right back, avenges his ADC.
Ooh, yeah. Very nice stuff coming through from Sunny to pick that up. I'm not sure why Kumi initiated that. He was a level down. He had just hit level 10, whereas the Twitch had been level 10 for a little bit now. You know, even if he was an item, you know, had the item advantage, that level advantage is so incredibly big. You know, he had already been stacking his lethal tempo. One only has press the attack, so it's not quite as valuable in those longer extended trades. Just a rough fight for Kumi to pick there, as they're going to use that pressure that they just killed the bot lane to, you know, grab up that Drake. Now Twitch, where does he go? That's the most important thing. Does he go mid? Does he go top? What lane is he holding right at this moment? It seems he's kind of leaning towards that bot side. as we see Whiskey Lion and squad pick up this second Rift Herald. Honestly, I want to see them drop a top.
Oh, it's going to be close. GVG does a lot of damage to Sunny there. Takes him down to half health, but yeah, Herald not going to be too contested there. I did want to bring some attention to the... Oh, wow, they just got it. Just as Baron spawns through the timing. Side note, but I really like the fact that we see Dazrex flipping to the bot side, the ADC going into the mid lane, right? Now we're at this mid-game point where we want to see those rotations out. This is the proactivity that we were asking for from the Spartans to get that pressure up, and knowing the fact that they've already taken down this top lane, Dazrex going to be left unhinged and takes another tier 1 tower, this time down in the bot side. And this is opening up the map a whole ton more for the Spartans to do really whatever they want on the opposite sides of the map.
Absolutely, and I really do like the movement from Kumi to get out of that situation. They kind of sensed something was up. Jint was looking for a dive, and if Kumi had stayed, that's a very easy kill for Dazrex for the Jint. And instead, Kumi just walks out of the lane, and now back mid lane, he's just going to be farming it up against Sniper Barika. Speaking of Sniper, interesting build. He's going for the Kraken Slayer first instead of what you see most Twitches do in solo queue. Going for a Blade the Rune King.
Chrono breaks on out of there, but I don't think he's got very much space to go. GVG, he's going to try and run. He's going to try and get the speed up, but the Glacial Precision slows him down. The knock-up's there. It's double Meatball versus one little Echo. And unfortunately, he's going to be CC'd to the moon and back. Good night, GVG. Kill picked up in the top side for the Eagles.
Yeah, just a hard little thing to get out of for him. So much CC, so much CC. Even if Feathers of Fire missed his ultimate, it's just a hard thing for him, especially when he is forced to pop his ultimate so incredibly early on. But still, you're looking at a super strong Fiora on the bot side. 2 items already, farming very, very well. Yeah, 3 in 1. It's going to be so incredibly hard for anyone to match this, but I do like how they're just brute forcing down mid. They're just going to be able to take that turret, and that's exactly what you want to use Caitlyn to do. Move her around the map, have her take turrets. Now, you want to probably move her back bot side with a lot of pressure, or top side with a lot of pressure. Take either, first tier 1 top, tier 1 bot. Either one works. You just want to do something with this Caitlyn. If she's just sitting in this lane farming as a Twitch, that's benefiting the side of the Spartans. You want to do something else with the Egos. Even though you have the team comp that scales through the moon, it's not going to help you if you're, 10k down because Dazer's taken every single turret on the map and has, 5 or 6 kills.
This is the goal, doing a few spikes back and forth. I don't believe it's bugged. It's just, kind of all over the place, back and forth so far. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. But I think more importantly, we look at who's got the gold. And you said Dazerix, this is exactly where Spartans want all their resources right now. Big Fiora. We want it to be just so massive that no matter how many people they send to the lane, it's not going to matter. Not quite at that point yet, but I'm sure, Arlen, you've seen a few Fioras. I get to that point, and it's like, oh, what do they even do with that? Nothing. So that is the path. That is the outcome that the Spartans want to go for. And I think if they keep this up, just keep on flipping Dazerix from top to bot or wherever there is an open lane to go for a turret, that is ideal, and we're seeing that happening right now. But Eagles so far have been putting up a pretty good defense, and we are starting to get later in this game, only 7 minutes out of that 30-minute mark where that's those equalizers start to equalize out, I guess, a little bit more. The team fight is going to start to come in, and those Corky Rockets are going to be a massive, massive threat. You already see Ludens is done, Muramana is completed, Sork shoes are done. This Corky's going to be big.
It's going to be absolutely massive. And one thing, we just saw the graph gold or, the graph differences on the team. And one thing I kind of want to highlight is kind of scary for the side of the Spartans is GVG. He's not doing as well as he should be doing right now. He needs to, bump up his numbers. He needs to be more of a threat in the side lane, because if this Echo isn't a threat, then all of a sudden you can't get pressure for Dazerix as we see him go in and get out.
Trying to find
just
him
like
right
that.
now.
4 members on the bot side. I think Whiskey Lion and squad
Whiskey, this is a little too close. Oh my god. Thing is, though, you got the rest of the pressure. The Seraphine and Caitlyn were just lurking in the jungle, so I think Spartan smelled something was up and didn't want to fully engage her. Whiskey was like, do it. I dare you to engage on me. So, yeah, it would have been a quick encore, ace in the hole, too, to follow up on that, and would have been a bit of a question mark. Not too sure who would have actually come out on top, but the scary thing was if Eagles did lose any member, look who's up top, look who's continuing his split push. Feathers having to answer this, so it's neutralizing things out. TPs are available for both these top laners, but Dragon back on the board right now could be potential soul point here for Spartans.
I wouldn't even bother teleporting if I was Dazerix. let the Ornn teleport. You don't care about the team fights. You don't care about this one Drake. Honestly, you don't even care about Cloud Soul, being quite frank, on either team. And especially when you already have a Drake advantage, you want your team to go in, draw out the teleport so you get a free turret topside, and then you just have your team back off. But with the Corki package, it makes it so much harder. And look at that damage already coming through. They can't even get close to it. That's going to be a very easy Drake for the side of the Eagles. But Echo split pushing the mid lane. I think he's better. He has to get out of the dodge real soon.
Oh god, yeah. Pick your exit path right now because it is going to happen. TP actually coming up top from the Corki. Feathers and Fur going to hit Dazarex with the Ornhorn, taking down a half health. Is going to pop the riposte. Does have the grand challenge, but will it be in time? GBG number going over the wall. Ace in the hole from downtown. It's a shutdown for Kumi as GBG tries to use the chrono break to get on back. Flashes over the wall immediately into the face of Kumi. That's a double kill for the Eagles ADC, and now a potential avenue for a Baron right here, right now, Arland.
Yep, and that's the power of this team composition. They're just out macroing them. They're just not giving them a chance to really play the macro game. And it started from the early game. They just didn't realize the strength of their composition. They weren't able to find the opportunities, the pass into this game, and it's just been all Eagles for the most part. And they just were able to find so much, and now they can go back into this fight and re-engage. And look at that right on the side.
Potential still here. The Umbral Trespass pop. It's going to be arrested, taken super low, but the Wild Growth will save their own life. Sniper, though, on the backside, trying to play it safe, trying to play it a little, I would say conservative here, though. I could try to get the camera back to Gent right now because there is an absolute mob of Eagles absolutely chasing him down. Tries to use the wall hacks, gets knocked up and popped out. Righteous picking up a kill there. That is fantastic for the Corki.
Yeah, and we saw Sniper just free firing into 5 members, and normally when you see that from an AD carry, it means they win the fight. But you have such a weak AD carry, and he has like no items. No attention was given to this Twitch at all, and it's so incredibly obvious as we see GBG and Dazzler trying to make something happen.
Trying to find the backside right now. Sunny taking that half health. Look at Dazzlerex going ham. Gets knocked up. The repose will not work. Ornhorn is back off a cooldown, but Sunny getting low. Dazzlerex finds it, but gets taken out himself so far. 1-for-1. GBG tries to flash in. Will be taken out. Sorry, not flash. Phase. Yeah. But my god, chaos in the top lane right now. The Fiora is down. The Echo is down. But it will be the Eagles just going for a back, playing it safe, playing it out until they get themselves the ideal team fight here.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just a rough game for the Spartans. It's a hard composition to play, like I said, but also it's not made any easier by the Sejuani, right? The Sejuani just in their face, consistently forcing out Echo ultimates all the time, leaving Dazzlerex to 1v5 and he did manage to sneak a kill into Sunny, but it wasn't enough to save his own life, And then GBG going in after the Fiora is dead. Hard game. And right now, what are we looking at, for the Spartans? How do we come back in this game? How do we win this game, from about a 3,000 gold deficit into a scaling team? We're looking at using the Twitch. We have to play around vision. We have to set up pick zones. We have to play with the Twitch. We have to play with the Kayn, because right now this Fiora Echo split push composition isn't working out. The Echo just now hit 2 items. Fiora's opted into going for a Maw third. Their damage to turrets is a little bit nerfed. Their wave clear is a little bit rough. They need the Twitch. They need Gent to step up and really take control of this game. Turn it into a solo queue game.
You're literally reading my mind here, because I'm like, how are they going to get back into this? And you're completely right. Vision is going to be the play. You got to try and find yourself a pick, but it's so damn hard when the Eagles are consistently grouped up with each other. So it's really going to be up to the Eagles to be the ones to maybe wander out. Maybe a solo support is out there warding, but Sunny hasn't really been doing that. He's been with Kumi the entire game so far, and their strength together, the distance they can keep with the poke is really, really significant. So they've been doing well together, and you can see them warding out, sweeping out this jungle as a 3-man squad. They're playing so well together, and again, this is showing the team skill, the team sense, I guess, if you want to call it that, from the Eagles, as Glacial Prison will come through. Dazzlerex, though, still full health. Sniper Borkoi going to be forced to flash away, but in come the Spartans. At least they're going to try for something. They've got the numbers advantage, but they're not going to go for it. Feathers in the mid lane could potentially roam down for the Ornhorn, but this jungle now getting taken over here by the Eagles.
Yeah, and you're talking about the numbers advantage, but you have to. There's one number that you missed, and it's the amount of wards in the enemy jungle for the Eagles. They are just in this ward game. It's not even a competition. They are smashing it. They have so much control all parts of the map. If you just look at the ward line, it's a very clear, direct line to what they want to do. They have a very aggressive bot side, a very defensive top side, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want Feathers and Fur to be safe top side, so they ward defensively, but then they want to be a super aggressive bot side. These backs are a little bit late, but it is just Corki. He does have package to pick up a base, I believe. No, he doesn't, but it's going to be coming up relatively soon, I think. Yeah, 21 seconds. So if they're able to stall for just that amount of time, Corki is able to teleport down with a huge package. And I like this macro call from him. He's going to be going to match DBG. Number won't be able to do anything, and he's going to have to force to use his teleport, but Corki is obviously a stronger one. And Dazric writes smart move, forced to play onto Feathers and Fur, look to do something. But that's going to be the third Drake going over. And again, it's just looking like a slow, painful bleed out for the side of the Spartans.
Yeah, this is the macro coming into play. This is the late game that the Eagles wanted. They've got themselves a lead. They now have themselves Soul Point that they're sitting on, which, again, Cloud, not the or the ideal Dragon for either of these teams, but not bad to be sitting on that Soul Point. We do have another fight breaking out around this Baron. It will be a route down onto GBG. A lot of damage coming from the Kumi, and that's a kill. That's going to be a huge loss for the Spartans. This Baron is on the board. Dazarex, and the rest of the Spartans clumped up here. Double knockup from the Ornhorn. The Encore comes through, hits 2, and Kumi now going unstoppable, able to take down Rested. More Corki rockets. You can see how much damage. Takes half of Sniper's health with the red. Oh my goodness. Ace in the hole too, takes him lower. This is a potential inhibitor coming through here from the Eagles, and then they should be able to pick up this Baron, no problem. Macro plays is their strength, and we are seeing it in real time.
Honestly, this
right
could
now.
be game. Oh, if they had just been a bit, yeah, they can honestly look for game here. I think that could be the call if they were just a bit more forceful. They have more than enough damage. They have more than enough items, and realistically, maybe they're able to take out 3 members, but I don't think that really they can really do that. They can't get through Feathers and Fur. They can't get through Whiskey. It's too hard to get through them, especially with Sunny sitting directly on top of them. Yeah, it's so incredibly hard for the Spartans to play this game. But a very nice pick out coming through from the side of Sunny. They were able to find GBG, and he just didn't have an opportunity to ult. Got CC'd up so much, but there's the Corki package. There's a teleport coming through. They're going to take this Baron. They're going to run top side. They can push down another inhibitor, or they can look to end the game, but it's going to be Gent trying to go for a steal here.
It's all up to
You
Gent.
have to imagine.
Gent just has to go for the miracle skill. Easy peasy, no pressure whatsoever. Go get it, but he's able to steal the Baron away. The team fight's going. Orhorn picks off one. Sniper though in the back with the spray and pray will get jumped on immediately by Whiskey Lion. Right just takes him out. Dazarix down to half HP. Tries to go for the repose. Tries to find the Kumi, but there's just so much kite and poke and damage, and Spartans, they still find the Baron, but it's Eagles coming out on top. Huge gold lead for them and potential end now. You see what those big old death timers are, that this could be game 1 right here, right now.
I'm pretty sure this is game 1 right here, right now, Gurf. There's not too much GBG can do. He's been beat up this entire laning phase, this entire game. He's going to try to hold off for as long as possible with this Baron buff, but like I said, the tanks are just too strong. They have a Seraphine on top of them. So much shields, so much heals. Look at that, 600 HP for Feathers of Fur. He gets charmed up. He's getting CC'd. Big ultimate.
Oh my goodness, GBG trying to find something. He's gonna go for right, just finds the pick. Nexus down to half HP right now. Kumi though, firing away from the back line. Look at Jen, trying to find a Kumi, gets taken down. Oh, but it's Feathers and Fur with the last auto on the Nexus. They almost save it, but in the end, Eagles picking up game number 1, and we will be flipping back to this analyst desk in just a few short moments. Oh my goodness, or I can go back to draft here while we get ready. Oh my god, Arland, what a game 1. What the hell? Back and forth.
Oh, what a
back
game
and
1
forth.
indeed.
Oh, that was so much fun to cast. That first one, nice little warm up here too, but exactly what we wanted to see from the Eagles. Slow burn, play it slow, take it easy, and get yourselves to a team fight absolute decimation point, which is what they had. I think you brought up another good point too. Vision game was, I would say, much more one-sided for the Eagles. You saw that ward line was completely pushed up by the time we were at that 30-minute mark. So it's going to be a big one, especially if you're playing a comp like we see here from the Spartans. Vision is massive. You got to be able to contest for it.
Absolutely, and I find it interesting that their vision was so incredibly lacking, especially when you have a Kane with what's the item called, Umbro Glaive, right? Like his whole thing right at that moment is to deny vision, and the fact that they weren't able to get him in there and start denying vision just kind of said, "Uh-oh, this is bad. He's not using the item. They aren't able to do anything. This is looking really grim for the side of the Spartans," and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fantastic. That was a spicy game number one. But we got potentially one more game here. It is a best of 3 tonight, so it is not done until it is fully done. So we will be back in just a few short moments while we get ourselves set up for game number 2 of this evening. And maybe, depending on how the other teams, how the other series are going, we might have some updates on the other playoff series going on this evening. Anyways, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for game number 2 in just a few short moments.
Why are you looking at me like you're scared? You said you wanted to get rid, now you're all mad.
Hello and welcome back. For just a moment before we get into game number 2, let's give a quick little rundown of what we just saw happen in game number 1 of Spartans versus the Eagles. We saw the Eagles take it down. It was a little bit of a slow start, but when things got going, they really started to get going. Arlen, do you want to give us some quick notes on that first game that we just watched?
Where do I start? This textbook play. I'll just put it as simply as that. It was just textbook play from the Eagles. You do what you have to do in the composition, right? They knew what they had to do. They just had to not int into Fiora, and that's exactly what Feathers and Fur did. They tried their best not to int, and everywhere else, they were just able to get super hard far ahead in the mid lane. He was farming up a storm. He was able to hit his power spike before anyone else in the game. They played around him. Very good ultimates from Sunny. Very good roams from Sunny. That just allowed them to win the game from that.
Beautifully done. And what do you think we're going to need to see them change up a little bit going into this next game, Gurf?
I talked about one point was the vision game. Again, if you're playing a comp like that, hold on, I'm just going to tell all players 1 second to hold off on the draft. But yeah, vision's going to be a big important part. Again, we saw it right from the start was Eagles getting that early information on where that Kane was, and that really helped them set up in terms of, okay, we got to play defensive on this side. We got to be careful, watch out for the early roam. So again, early information is going to help anybody, no matter what situation you're in. And as the game gets going and longer, we saw that vision line just completely shoved up. I think there was one point there was no wards actually on the map from the Spartans, and that's just because the Eagles had completely taken over at that point. So more contest for vision, more roaming in numbers. That's what we need to see from the Spartans too. Yes, they're strong individually, but now at this point, you've been playing together for 7 weeks. Some more synergy together, play with yourself, with your teammates, and yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. That's what they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Couldn't have said it better myself, and it sounds like our players are ready to see if they can make this dream work and come together. So, for the second time, and potentially the last, if the Eagles can bring it all home, I will see you all on the Rift.
Absolutely. Let's roll. All right, game number 2. Time to see. Time to duel. No, well, yeah, kind of. To see what these guys are bringing out. I don't know if we see the Spartans, but if they're going to change a whole lot up. Again, these bans were really good from both sides. Really put a hindrance in terms of what kind of flex picks we would see from the Spartans. But they might have something special up their sleeves here, Arlen. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd imagine you have to have something special. I think you just have to drop a ban for an Ornn, because obviously if the Fiora isn't working into an Ornn, and you're not willing to play something else like Camille, like the Gwen, like I said, the champions that really do well into him, like a Kale who can scale for free into him, or a Vladimir who can scale for free into him, then you just got to get rid of them. And I think the best ban would have been to drop the Lucian, but understandably they said no thank you, no Lucian Nami for me. So it is going to be pretty stock standard for what we saw first game. Nothing really interesting, nothing really crazy coming out from either side in terms of bans yet.
Yeah, it's the same ones going back again. Volibear, Lucian, Wukong, Zeri. Again, that is putting a huge hindrance on Gent. His Wukong is pretty damn good. And just in the history of the VAD, the split has been a huge champion, not even just for VAD, because we've had this conversation before about the Wukong being such a great key component, and the fact that that is on the prior list of Eagles bans. That is going to be huge. Ligar, again, going to be sitting on the bench. I guess they do not want Righteous to have that whatsoever. Again, it's big, long-term scaling, right? And that is the Eagles' strength. So to take that off the board is definitely a huge play for the Spartans here. But final ban from Eagles. You know what? If you're Eagles, right? And this is a situation where we see a lot of times those teams being up 1-0. Do we really change that much up? Or do we run it back again? Ornn is still on the table. You still got multiple members from the last draft as well, just available, ready to go. And this time, though, there will be one change up. It's like, what was it, a season ago? Seraphine B1 Classic. It's back again. She's strong
classical. I like it a lot. I like the Seraphine B1 because, like you said, it kind of unlocks a lot of different AD carries, a lot of different compositions. You can have Seraphine in the mid lane. You can grab Senna with Senna Seraphine, or you can grab Senna just because you want Senna Seraphine as a combination. Then you can grab a Lee Sin support, like we saw in the LCK. You know, Keria absolutely smurfing it up on Bro, I think it was. Or they can grab Ashe with the Seraphine. You can grab the Jhin with the Seraphine. You can grab a Kog'Maw. You can grab literally any AD carry you want in the game except for maybe Kalista with Seraphine. That's one seems a little bit rough, and Smear probably as well. But either way, strong pick, just a lot of flexibility, very hard to deal with. And instead, the Eagles are going to answer with an Ezreal. So maybe it's an Ezreal Yumi, an Ezreal Karma would allow them to dominate lane, depending on who the support matchup is.
Yep.
Just really a lot of flexibility coming through from the Eagles as well, but it's going to be the Ezreal Senna. That one seems a little bit rough if they know what to play into it from the Spartans, and I have an inkling they might do.
You know, I was, with all that time being hovered, I was like, they're definitely discussing, do we play Yumi? And Sunny's like, I don't want to play Yumi. I don't want it. But again, huge amount of heal, right? You've got the global alt. It's going to be a little interesting in terms of what we see in the laning phase, but overall, Senna can be a huge, huge champion and does fits in for what you want. But that's a lot of poke, and I think Spartans are saying, hey, you know what? You guys like poke? We're going to do poke as well, too. So Jhin picked up for Sniper. It does raise some questions, too, considering we know how strong Sniper Borka's misfortune is, and paired up with a Seraphine. That would have been some nasty, nasty wombo combo potential here. And the fact that you've added a Camille in, I think maybe question mark on the Jhin. Unless we're all getting bamboozled. That's for GVG in the mid lane, and we're completely off the mark here.
Yeah, I mean, it could obviously be for GVG, but I like the Camille coming through. I like it a lot because it doesn't allow the Orin, and if Alawi gets picked up here, it's a very... Oh, okay, we're just going to grab the Orin anyway. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, this is another free lane for the Camille, and if they're this time they actually have tools to use this Camille. A Fiora, it's kind of hard to gank because she has no innate setup of her own. It's very reliant on what the enemy does, and it's really hard to gank for it. A Camille, you just E in, hookshot, ultimate, huge, easy setup, and this time you can look for a Galio. You don't need to stack a huge magic dealer. If you have a Galio Seraphine over the top with the Camille, that's instant one shot on Ezreal, on Senna, whatever squishes they have on a team competition, and you just drop in whatever AD jungler you want. You can grab a Shyvana, you can grab Rengar, you can grab Graves, you're right, you can grab a Zenzao. I would guess, I don't know why you would want that, but it to the point, it's just a super easy composition for them to play, and it really just allows them to shine on whatever pick they want in the jungle, and that's just what we're going to be looking at. But it all comes down to them knowing that they have a Galio in their back pocket for the mid laner, and if they don't, it kind of just falls apart, and it's really just going to be Camille diving this back line alone, unless they have something else that really enables it, like maybe a Sylas.
Yeah, that'd be another big pick as well, too. Also, a reason why we see the Fiddlesticks banned out, that is something that Can You Dig It plays. I think that's the secondary to the Wukong, so they're very heavily targeting this jungle right now. But a Fiddlesticks with the comp that Spartans have right now would have been really, really nasty to see, so very smart to ban that out. Again, they're a little unsure of where that Seraphine's actually ending up, because we see the Singed ban. That is not, in fact, for Dazzlerex. That is for GVG, because that is another one of their wonky picks they have brought out in the mid lane. Love to see it. Huge respect on it. But, yeah, they're still not too sure where it's ending up, and that's kind of the benefit of the B1 Seraphine is you don't get to know until we have our B5 completely locked in. But bot lane's locked in right now for Eagles. We have the top lane, 4 feathers, again on that Orin, his signature pick. What is it going to be here? A mid? Or are we going to see a top lane to answer into that Camille? Or jungle?
Honestly, I think
top lane. There's already a top lane. Duh.
Honestly,
how do you feel about that, Arlen?
I think the Mumu's okay, but I think the move here. I think the move is just to grab like a gangplank, shove him top into Orange free scale. Camille mid. You can get away from a move very easily. It's a short lane, right? You can make plays happen wherever you want on the map. Super mobile champion who doesn't care about landing phase so much. And then just grab like a Lilia in the jungle and just dance around them. But instead, they're going to be grabbing Xerath in the mid lane. So really playing heavily into this poke composition, poke versus poke, where it looks like right now only a few more engage options coming through from the Eagles. And right now for the Spartans, I want to see hard engage. It can't be the Lilia. It's got to be something. Nocturne J4 come to mind. Poppy as well.
Ooh.
And there it goes. Yeah, Poppy very, very nice in the move. Stops his engage, doesn't allow him to continue all the way through with it, and it gives you kind of a disengage into re-engage kind of solid composition for yourself.
I do believe that is going to be in the jungle for Can You Dig It, so that Poppy. Oftentimes, see the Poppy popping into the jungle as well, too, because I think Just based off it, I don't think we'd see a Camille jungle. I think that's more in favor of Dazarix in terms of that bruiser in your face. I'm going to make your life absolute hell. But, oh my goodness. This is a champ I have not seen in many moons. Annie gonna be locked in here for Righteous. I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that you just have the Tibbers to add into this very aggressive comp that the Eagles have right now. Because if they latch on, if they get that Moo Q on one person, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, and I like the Annie as well. It kind of it plays into the idea that you're gonna have this Senna and Ezreal versus this Seraphine, Jhin, Xerath. Then you want to engage with the Moo, so you have Poppy to kind of stop that. Then you have Camille, Seraphine, Ultimate to re-engage, and then you have Annie to stop that, and then you have Ornn over the top just winning out in the engage versus disengage war. I like the Annie, but it does get a lot of it poked out in this lane. So you really have to be able to use it with your Moo in conjunction once like level 6s are hit. Then the Xerath is just a sitting duck, you have to imagine. And if this Annie takes Predator, runs around the map with her little legs, she can go down bot side, she can go top side. That's a free kill either way, and she can really get this game snowballing. And that's kind of what I'm scared of for the side of the Spartans. On the other side, though, the Spartans, they have a Camille. They can really get her dominating in the top side. If they're able to do that, then I don't really see how they stop, because she one-shots anyone before she gets stunned up by an Annie.
Yeah, that's that Q. I think it's the second part of the Q. That, what is it, 1,000 true damage? Is that it? Just a little
Easily,
bit. Yeah.
easily.
What is it to that? I think I got a couple more questions left. For now, predictions are open, so if you're out there in the Twitch sphere right now, get your predictions. Let us know who's going to win game number 2. But I think another question that came to mind from me is, what are we going to see build-wise, rune-wise for the Ezreal? Because I know that champion has a lot of different variations, can be played a lot differently. Yes, you've got the poke in terms of the Senna. Yeah, you could hang back and do something like that. But do we see something a little bit more aggressive to match the rest of the Eagles comp here?
I think we're probably going to be seeing. I mean, he's in danger of a Seraphine Ultimate and Camille and Poppy dive, but at the same time, he's not really in that much danger. He has an Amumu, he has an Ornn in front of him, and he has a Senna next to him. So realistically, they're going to kill the Senna, then the Ezreal. So he can actually get relatively aggressive with his build. I think we're looking at a Prowler's Claw Ezreal, or maybe a Duskblade Ezreal with a press the attack.
Okay,
One of those setups. Just looking to one-shot people. He doesn't even have to go for a frozen heart or anything like that. He just goes straight one-shot, and I think that's the build angle I would be looking for as the Ezreal, just looking to do as much damage as possible, because if we get caught out, I die anyway, regardless if I have Divine Sunder or Frozen Heart.
Yeah, I don't mind the poke. It is a lot of poke between the Xerath, Jhin, and Seraphine for the Spartans, but there is going to be some concern as we get later into this game. Again, we're in another situation where it is up to the Spartans to get things started early. If they get that poke out early, it is going to make laning phase so challenging for the Eagles here. And that's, I think, where we're going to see a lot of that gold gap start to increase, if the Spartans are playing proactively and getting the poke out and making stuff happen. In terms of where we're going to see the resources sent, a few of these lanes, kind of hard to gank. I think the only one might be top, but even then, you still have to deal with an Ornn and his ginormous health bar.
Yeah, really rough game, but like you said, if they just play towards top side, and actually this time play towards top side, I think the Spartans will have a very easy game of it, relatively speaking, because if this Camille gets ahead, she one-shots everybody in this game, nobody is safe. But if this Camille is equal at all, can't one-shot anyone, doesn't even matter what they do. She gets stunned up by any Amumu Ornn, and she's dead on every single time.
Well, we're going to have to see how this one shakes down. If you haven't already, make sure to get those predictions in. Potentially last game of the evening, as the Eagles are currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. So we'll have to keep you guys updated on how the night is going. Currently, we have an update from the Hornets. They are also up 1-0, but the other teams are still in their series, still at least in game 1, and should be wrapping those things up a little bit, at least shortly. Oh, maybe have another I do have another DM. Phantoms are also up 1-0. Interesting. We got a spicy night on our hands. Lots more to come. At least one more game here on stream, and a few more off stream as well, too. It's playoff season, baby. It's hype. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to be right back with game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VAD quarterfinals. We're here in game number 2. Currently, Eagles lead this series 1-0. We'll get some updates for the other series when we come back to the analyst desk. But for now, we're focused on this one. Potentially last game of the evening here for the stream. And potentially last game of the season for the Spartans. But we'll have to see how that one goes as we get into this game. It's going to be spicy. A lot of things we need to look out for, though, this game, Arlen.
Ooh. An invade coming through is the first thing I would be on the lookout for. Amumu not taking anything just yet. A very nice ward from Sniper spots him out. All 5 members getting spotted, so they know not to walk in the area.
Yeah,
and
danger zone.
Just like that, it fizzles out.
One
thing I want to highlight.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Go for it.
No, you go.
Oh,
Okay.
I was making jokes. You go for it. You got real stuff to talk about. I'm just making jokes.
I can make jokes too, I guess. No, one thing I just want to highlight is Kumi went for a tier start, which would normally be really, really bad on Ezreal, right? Because you kind of want to deal with damage to minions. You want to deal with damage back to your opponent if they step up to you. But on the plus side, what makes it a lot better is that Sniper opted for the 4-pot, boots build for the Jhin, so he doesn't deal that much damage either. And all of a sudden, Kumi's error isn't that much of an issue. What is an issue is the fact that he's got a lot of gold and a lot of experience for Sniper and Narcissism in the spot lane here. And that can, that little bit of experience can be the difference maker between level 2 first and level 2 last. And, what that does for a lane can get really, really rough.
Absolutely, and I really want to be seeing the aggressiveness coming out of Kumi and Sunny this round, considering, that Seraphine, surprisingly, well, she doesn't do a lot of damage. Really, really squishy. It is just a spicy version of the Sona. We see already a little bit of poke coming out from Kumi, and with the first strike, we should be seeing that initiation coming out as a priority from the Eagles first in that bot lane. Keeping our eyes, though, on around the map, I think we want to really watch these junglers in terms of pathing, in terms of what Cryo is going to be set up, because, again, these are going to be some tough lanes for the Spartans to gank, especially the fact that you have a Mumu roaming around that you need to watch out for, and these lanes, again, not super easy, but if anywhere you want to go, yes, the Orin is hard to gank, but if you're putting resources into Dazarex, getting that Camille massive, you know how much damage that true shot, or, well, not true shot, but the true damage Q is going to be doing in this late game.
Absolutely, as we see a lot of trading down here in the bot side. But, you were talking a little bit about the pathing coming through from Jhin here. And, when you're playing Poppy, one thing I always tell my junglers is when you play Poppy, you have to sin. You have to play Poppy like the most degenerate champion in the world, and that's the only way to make her work. And you watch Peanut do it. This man's flashing over the Dragon Pit level 2, invading the enemy jungle, taking Hex Flash. Like, he's doing all the most illegal things in the world, but it always works. Why? Because that's just how Poppy operates. She's one of those champions that is so dumb, but so good. You have to just use her like a maniac, and that's how you win games. And that's what you got to do. You got to be looking for dives, even though the dive normally wouldn't be there, just because her CC is so easy to set up. She has so much early damage, and she can move quite fast, especially with this phase rush here as it lands in the GVG. I don't think they really want the fight.
Back. Oh my goodness, GVG says, why are you ganking my lane? I will make you pay. As the gank comes through in the top lane, though, knock on back, Feathers and Fur. Trying to dash forward, and a lot of damage coming out from Dazarex. Lovely attempt. It is the start of, I think, many to come. But keep your eyes on Whiskey Lion is on this bot end of the map. Should be potentially making his way down here, especially if this wave pushes up for Sniper and Gent. Rested, which it is currently right now.
Absolutely, and this is where, Whiskey Lion should be looking to back, just grab some early boots, grab some early damage, or, sorry, not damage, what do you call it? The Kindle Gem. No, not Kindle Gem. Bomby Cinder. Doesn't matter. He's going for a gank here in the bot side. Lands the stun.
Lovely stun, followed by the bandit shots, forces the flash out, arrested.
Ooh, yeah.
Sniper, though, kiting on back, does get the root down on the Whiskey Line, enough to say, hey, that's enough, go away. But look who's back in for the ganks. It's Gent. It's gank for a gank across the map. I love seeing the proactivity from these jungles, as Number will run a little low on the mana. Again, forces Righteous out.
Doesn't flash, though.
It is okay.
That's important because the more Annie has flash, the more she can set up for those flash tippers. And, it's an instantaneous spell. There's no windup. There's very little cast time as an invade comes through.
Jungle combat right now. Whiskey will smite down that big raptor to get some extra health and at least force Gent out of his own jungle as Bandage Toss goes a little wide on that one. Number is roaming around. Righteous, though, has the stun, has the tippers, and just a little bit more of experience. But the mana is so low on both these mid laners, no one can use any other spells, but Whiskey can Bandage Toss and uses the E to secure that one. Gent is low as well. Should be able to get a trade back, but Sunny with the big Q heals his team up. And that's 2 on the board for the Eagles. Flashes forward. Oh, Kumi, a little bit wide on that one, but overall, really good stuff for the Eagles in this early game.
Yeah, Kumi getting flamed a little bit by his team for that one, but I respect it. Sunny could have flashed as well. It doesn't matter either way. They were able to pick up a huge advantage for Whiskey and for Righteous, and that's exactly what you want to see. You want this Annie to get ahead because that is going to be your main damage dealer the later this game goes on. This Annie does scales surprisingly well into the later stages of the game. Normally, you don't really think of an Annie doing that, but she scales very, very well, especially if you build her more as like a bruiser Tibbers. Like you just let the Tibbers just run around and hit people and slow them with a Rylai's or, burn them to death with the Leandries. That's what we're probably looking at from this Annie, but either way, she does so much damage. She's going to be so impactful in this game, and it's so good that they were able to get this kill onto her because now she can really start to run rampant. But we're watching Xerath walk to the top side just to get a little bit of vision. You can kind of see how well they're playing for Dazrix this year. He got the first gank. He's getting vision down. He's understanding his lane assignment. Now they just need to keep spamming ganks with this Poppy. They need to keep sitting with Poppy. The less sitting you are doing a Poppy, the less you're actually playing the game, and it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, they can repent after game. Right now, it is time for sitting, and I want to see some more. But what does catch my eye out playing around with the vision is how deep some of these wards are from the Eagles already setting up and pushing forward that vision line. It's just giving them a ton of information. They just saw Gent walking up to the top side, so they know exactly where he is. Dragon's on the board right now. Wave is going to be at least neutralizing, and depending on how this pushes, I want to see Kumi and Sunny just let the wave push out. You can make your way to the spot lane with Whiskey Lion, and if that wave is pushed up, that's an easy gank. That's Dragon, but right now we have a gank at the top side. The Hextech Ultimatum coming down, and Feathers again making it out, using that health bar and staying alive for now. But I'm keep my eyes on this bot lane right now, Arlen.
Yeah, very, very nice stuff. And I'm also keeping my eyes on this bot lane. I'm also keeping my eyes on
Electrocute does so much damage. Oh, not quite enough yet to be able to find it, but once those mythics come through, it's going to be a different story.
Look at Jinto. He's in that lane. He can go for it. He has the Hex Flash, but understands that the vision game just isn't in his favor. He backs off, Righteous backs off, and they're going to be invading the spot side, and this is so incredibly bad for Jin.
Wow. Yeah, Gent's trying to do an invade of his own, but there are no camps up. Red buff will be spawning soon, but right now, it's the entire red side of the Spartans getting cleared out, so that is definitely going to be a loss, but red buff, Gent should be able to secure that one. Though, knowing he's not on the bot side, he's not on the top side because it's warded. You got to know where Gent is. I'm surprised that we don't see a collapse, but more attention being focused towards the spot side as the curtain call does come out. Dragon was started, but Whiskey is all the way over there. Righteous is helping him take the Dragon. They're kiting back towards that end. Encore is still available, but 4 members of the Eagles right now around this Dragon. Spartans do not want to go in that jungle and find out what's up.
Yeah, hard play to make from Sniper. I don't think they ever found anything, especially not with Senna right there blocking the shots and healing him up so effectively. But, I applaud the fact that they did take it. They took the opportunity, they took the chance to go for it, and now the game state is pretty much back to normal, back to, everything being about even, except in the jungle. Just the jungle gap is growing wider and wider, and we can see Whiskey just outplaying Jin at almost every single turn. Jin hasn't been able to ascend enough, in my opinion, right? He hasn't been able to really get around the map, really play like a crazy man. Only had a few effective ganks, but other than that, hasn't found anything important, and that's the biggest thing. Whiskey Lion moving to the mid lane is threatening Xerath, forcing him to back off, and he can play this bot side so well because he has bot lane prio, he has mid lane prio. This bot side is entirely Whiskey's.
And look who has the most gold. It's Whiskey right now. Absolutely, just clearing like a madman right now. You can see it in the CS numbers. You can see it in the gold as well too. But that is just speaking to the proactivity of this Amumu right now. Speaking of though, looking to set something up in the spot side, not spotted quite yet. Does have the Curse of the Sad Mummy available, but Bandage Dodge goes wide. So No gank, no money. They continue to push on out. Question of where is going to be the next focus. Dragon's not up for 3.5 minutes. Right now, top has been pretty neutralized right
they're
now.
setting up this dive though.
Oh my goodness, Whiskey.
They do have ultimates, but the second Narcissism is able to hit his level 6, it's kind of dead in the water. Just like that.
Sunny
Both
with
bot lanes
the
rooted up.
stunned. Are they going to go for it? You still have Whiskey lurking along the side, and I mean, he's got some of this time to kind of burn. It's not the end of the world losing some resources just based on how far ahead he is right now, but he is going to want to get back in that jungle, keep those numbers up, and keep on farming so he does become that late game scary tank along with the Bammies that he's got built already. So more
Absolutely.
to come.
More to come. But yeah, it's a rough one because he wasted so much time on the bot side. Jint can easily just start farming his top side camps, and that's what I would be looking to do as this Poppy. I would just, run over there, grab those camps up, start doing some things. Interesting usage of the Rift Hilt. It's not in range for Dazerx to actually get value from it, so it's only for Poppy, which is about a kill's worth. It's a little bit more than a kill, but now that attracted Annie's attention. So with Annie roaming up here top side, you can no longer invade the top side. You can no longer get any gold out. And yeah, it's kind of a rough one. Really, really rough one coming through from the Jhin here. But otherwise, the rest of the map is about even.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah,
I think for the most part is acceptable.
I think you're right, though, right? That would have been a really good opportunity with Herald down to at least get the Krugs off there, at least start to equalize a little bit of that CS differential we're seeing in the jungle. But yeah, you take what you get, and right now, few turret plates removed off that top side. Which, again, if Dazerx is left alone, we know what he does to turrets when he's all by himself. It is not pleasant if you are the turret. So True Shot Barrage comes out. It does stop Sniper's back right there. So this could be potentially scary. They're going to be forced to stay right now, and with Sniper on half a health bar, no mana, it's a lot of poke that could potentially take him out. True Shot Barrage will not be available, but the Dawning Shadow is up if they want to go for even more poke, which they just keep seeming to land.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Senna. That's the power of the Ezreal. They're able to poke out so much, but they're also relatively weak. It's so hard to gank an Ezreal, but it's so easy to gank a Senna, right? That's what I would be looking for the Jhin, but he hasn't been able to play like a maniac, and it's so disappointing as GBG is forced to flash by a very nice Q coming through from Whiskey.
Oh, lovely timing. Did not have vision on him, so that was just seeing the bandage and saying,
reactions.
no, thank you. I do not want any of that smoke very much. 1 minute till the dragon. Both junglers are on the side of the map, but again, who spotted out first? It's Gent, because Eagles have the vision game down pat right now. They're taking over control, and it is just, again, they know where these members of the Spartans are going to be before these fights are even breaking out. So it just is giving them such an edge in terms of where they need to be and how they need to set up for these next coming team fights.
Absolutely, and I like it a lot coming through from the side of the Eagles here. And Whiskey, Buddy has about 2,000 in his pocket. He needs the back before the Drake spawns. It's only 27 seconds roughly. He can get there if he Qs the wolves and the blue buff, but he can't stop to do them, right? He just needs to Q them and keep running if he wants to even hope to get there on time. He does have mid lane priority, so it does buy him a lot of time. And the ward game is set up so perfectly for them. It's so incredibly difficult for the side of Spartans to push up. Yeah, you just have to imagine that this dragon is theirs again. Or they could look for the bot dive.
I mean, they've got the rotation right now. If the bot side of Spartans walk
Things are
through this
coming
bush,
down.
oh no, it's completely warded. Oh no, Narcissism, good night. Tibbers will just eviscerate the Seraphine, and you cannot be face-checking these bushes. You gotta know that if that tri-bush is dark, that the vision has been taken over by the Eagles. Dance for the Dragon has begun, but without an encore in their pocket, is going to be quite tough to deal with this. You still have Feathers and Fur up in the top lane, so no Ornhorn will be available for this fight unless he decides to TP down, which he can't because I believe he just used it. Gent taken down to about a little bit of health. That's going to be the curtain call. The Dragon will be secured by the Spartans, but Sniper on the back doing a ton of damage. Dawning Shadow comes on out. Dazerx is going down. And now another bandage shots will land on the Sniper. Whiskey Lion in this back line looking for some more. Kumi is low. Needs to watch out for that poke from Jhin. That force shot could be devastating. Whiskey still on the chase. Does have another bandage toss available. Sunny is there, but the flash away from Sniper. Q will land. And over the wall they go. Do you have another bandage toss available? No! Sniper manages to get out of that one. The chase was quite intense there. My God.
Oh, rough they got the dragon on the side of the Spartans, so very good job from them. It's going to be the Mountain Soul, so Orin is in love, Poppy is in love, you know, both with their respective passives that are quite OP. But it's scary. Yeah, it was a very scary fight, and it kind of shows the issues that the Spartans have been having in this series, which is a lack of coordination. Whiskey.
Looking for it. He's low,
Whiskey.
though. The right of the arcane comes out, and that's going to be enough to at least get the damage down for Gent to pick up the kill. Kumi ducking, dodging, dipping, diving, and I think the fifth one's dodging again. Manages to escape that Zerath ult, but for now, yeah, that was at least a nice little answer from the Spartans, but they lose their mid tier 1, and I would think out of the towers on the map, that is the most influential of the tier 1 towers to be taken. Just opens up things a lot more, and based on the way we're seeing this vision game being played, it is going to give them even more opportunities to just dominate this vision line. Spartans are getting some back down right now, but it's gonna be tough.
It's very tough, especially since, you know, the issue with that dragon fight was, you know, you saw Sniper on the bottom side of the map alone as a Jhin, as an AD carry, instead of grouped up with his team and fighting the Drake. And then also as well, Narcissism face checking an Annie. He didn't even get hit by a stun. Righteous missed the ultimate with the Timbers. It just didn't matter. They still one-shot him. He was dead either way, and it's just like they need to tighten themselves up, but they only have so much time to do so, right? They only have another 4 minutes until this Drake spawns, or rather, 3 minutes and 40-something seconds until this Baron spawns. They need to tighten themselves up, and they need to start playing as a team. Dazrex was able to get into the backside, was able to get onto Kumi. He just doesn't do enough damage. Orin, Fezifer on this Orin has been able to neutralize him so incredibly well. He's going to force out his teleport here, and that's a very smart play, and that's another tool that they don't have anymore, and it allows him to push into this top side, allows him to start getting vision down, allows them to start looking for this tier 2 top, tier 1 bot, looking for plays in the jungle, or just looking to scale up for free. Either way, it's so incredibly hard for the side of Spartans to do anything at this point.
GVG finding a little bit of poke over the wall. Kumi is in a bit of an awkward spot, but not really much of a response coming through from the Spartans right now to punish that positioning. So yeah, Eagles are kind of free to walk wherever, get those wards up and get control. Whiskey Lion is going to be walking in though. Looks for Rested, and in goes Kumi. Curse to the side, Mummy comes through, and the True Shot Barrage Encore will land onto all 3 members, but Kumi picking up those kills, getting that gold for the Ezreal, and that's the first one for him this game. But a very important kill because it is going to add to that snowball, which is the Ezreal build.
Yep, Ezreal not going for a tankier build, going for what's the word? Divine Sunder here. Not the best thing in the world, but it doesn't even matter as Jhin is trying to get into it with Whiskey Lion, and buddy, you don't have the team here.
Jin's going to be going down. A little bit more poke from Kumi will find it. Curtain Call is cut short, and that is that. Yeah. Gent takes way too much damage at the beginning of that one. Right, just looking for more. Timbers is on the chase, but one last Q will do it. Disintegrate will pick that Zerath off, and now 2 members down. Be a little tough though, right? Righteous is getting stunned up. Narcissism can't really chase that. You saw what happened when he walked into the tri-bush. You know what that Annie will do to you. Back off.
Absolutely, and just like that, when you have your Zerath dying on the side lane away from any of the fight and 1v1, that's how you know that, wait a second. This is, our game's starting to turn into a Titanic. It's sinking really, really fast, guys. We need to do something else. Something needs to be done. And they haven't been using Dazric, right? You know, we talked about it before the series about how he's one of the best top laners here, and he's been being put on these carry top laners, and he hasn't been carrying. He hasn't been getting resources. He has just been chilling, honestly. It's not looking like a carry performance. It's not a someday. It's not a summit, right? It's just kind of more of a Broken Blade or a Hanser back when they were in the LCS, right?
Hanser, yeah.
Doing absolutely nothing. But we might see them do something here on the Feather of the Fur, but I think he's just going to walk it out.
Oh, he tries to dash, but the flash will get him, at least put some distance here. Gent, though,
they do get one.
At least get the CC down. No, minions, no. Unbelievable. Minions will end up cleaning up that one, but the kill does go over to Dazarek, so that is important gold. You need to keep on feeding on this Camille. You saw how much that true damage does. That took a good quarter of the Orange health. Not a joke whatsoever. But now Eagles are on a Nether Dragon right now. It's not Soul Point, but Mountain Drake starting to stack up on the Orin and Amumu is not going to be a joke. They're already big enough meatballs. Oh my god, right. Oh, walks into the stun. Gets stunned again. Whiskey Lion, though, with the flash, the bandage toss, the curse of the sad mummy, and Narcissism is out of here. all the damage, all the CCUs for that Seraphine.
Oh, GBG is
But,
cut off.
Yeah, GBG could be in some big trouble too. Has a little stun there to at least slow down Whiskey Lion. Knows another bandage toss is in the back pocket up there. Shelly is unfortunately gonna have to be popped in that bot lane very, very early on, just due to the timeout of that. But Baron Arlant is now up and on the board, and I think if you're the Eagles, you want to be asking yourselves, can we go for this? If we get another pick, who needs to get picked off in order for us to secure this objective?
Honestly, they don't even need a pick. I think this is one of those situations where they could just find out. That's what they're looking to do.
He tries to find
Liz.
something there. Whiskey playing this Amumu extremely aggressive. Gent is trying to look for one, but nice little jump there by the Ezreal. Kumi though walking up quite far, gets a little poke from that Xerath, dodges away from the Jhin stun. Dazerix though walking up the river is gonna get spotted out on the ward. Sunny ready for that one, ready to stun. Bakumi still playing this fast and loose. Gent comes over the wall. Bandage toss. I think that would have been a little overzealous if they did find that. But you do have Righteous lurking in the top half of the river. Potential pincer here actually from Kumi goes forward. That's so scary. That is so sketchy. But we'll have to see. No pincer because Dazerix is actually going back on the Feathers and Fur, and ooh.
Yo, this is dangerous. They could go straight to Baron here.
They could.
Quite honestly, they know everyone's in the bot side. They know all the movement was going to the bot side. Have Feathers and Fur sacrifice his life, step up like an idiot, quite frankly, and just say, here, I'm an Orin, kill me. And then they just all run to the Baron, and then that's the cleanest Baron of their lives. And Feathers and Fur 50-50 if he lives or not. Either way, it's going to be Righteous just running into the bot side. They want this turret, and they want it so badly that they're devoting all 5 members. GBG doesn't have teleport, and they know he's topside clearing waves, and they're gonna see his entire path all the way through.
I'm having deja vu. This is game 1. They're pushing bot side tier 2 once again. That is a huge keeper's verdict, though. Whiskey Lion is all by themselves. Dazerix, don't know if they want to go for it because the Eagles are coming right on back to look for some more. But yeah, this seems to be the Eagles' I guess favorite side. They're playing through this bot side really, really strong, and once they have the numbers here, they tend to take over that tier 2, and then with an opened up bot lane completely, Baron becomes infinitely more easy. But I think you're right. I don't think they need to pick. I don't think they need to look for anything big. They're strong enough right now that if they wanted Baron, I think they could just go for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreline 10-2, 6,000 gold, roughly 6,500 gold over their opponents. 4-0 on the Annie, 2-0 on the Ezreal, 3-1 on the Amumu. They are absolutely smashing this game, and Dazeric, like we said, just enhance their performance. You know, he's heralded as a great top laner, comes in, plays the carries, but he just doesn't get the resources from his team. They're focusing more on Sniper, focusing more on GBG, a la TSM, right? And it's just not working out at all.
Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks to 2016 finals. Oh god, yeah, that's unfortunate to see though, when you know you have such a strong top laner in this series, right? Dazerix has been a beast all season. You gotta know to put your resources into that player, but unfortunately, it's just not coming through right now. And Eagles have really just taken an opportunity here to take over this game. You can see how many bodies are around just the top half of the map right now. Feathers, I think, doing what you said, saying, hey, look at me, look at me. 4 members are right there around the Baron. All you gotta do is just clear out a couple more wards, and that is completely lights out for the side of Spartans. They have no vision whatsoever on this Baron anymore, and how can they possibly check? This is so sketchy, Arlant.
Yeah, they know. Oh, that's a flash.
Flash,
the
Tibbers,
cleanse
damage.
early.
Shot Barrage goes a little wide, as Righteous almost just completely demolishes that Xerath. Nothing can really be done about that. Xerath has gone back, though. Dazerix is in the bot lane alone, but the call might be the Baron right here.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call. They can't really contest it. Jhin is too far away. Even if he runs with the Poppy, it's gonna be a risky thing. So they just have to go down mid. I think the call is just to go down mid, set up for the Baron, or sorry, for the Drake to come through in 30 seconds. They don't have enough time to reset and get to the Drake, so either they get the Baron and run through mid. I think that's got to be the move, but they're all resetting at the moment, but they aren't ready to do anything with the Spartans, so it's a rough call to go for Drake here. Dazeric doing his best to try a split push, but again, no resources given to this Camille means he is so far behind the curve on everyone else in this game.
I don't know if they want to pop the Ornhorn for here. Dazeric should be able to just get the last bit of the turret, but at what cost? Because I think he's overstayed his welcome now. Flashing over the wall will find the Kumi, but Kumi is on the chase. Ornhorn is coming through. True Shot Barrage will be enough. Ornhorn not even needed for that one. The damage coming out of the Kumi is huge. Curse the Sad Mummy, though, used on multiple members. That's rested, just taken out by the Annie. Gent is going to be next. Uses the Keeper Verdict, tries to flash away, and does have the speed to zoom on out of there. But another Mountain Dragon is going to be secured here by the Eagles. And this is just textbook. They're loading up on the objectives. They're taking down the turrets, and they're just patting their wallets more and more and more. 7K gold lead, up 10 kills, and sitting on Soul Point. Eagles looking to lock this one in and send themselves to semifinals.
Oh man, and it's just looking so clean, so easy from the side of the Eagles. They are making very few mistakes. They're going to be looking to grab this inhibitor now, sieging up with the team composition, and Whiskey is so incredibly threatening with the ultimate, with the flash, with the Q. Bloody is just, it's just a rough one coming through for the side of the Spartans. They just haven't been doing their best this entire series, and it's kind of showing. But they still have a few more chances to try. They just need to land some ultimates. I honestly haven't seen Narcissism use his ultimate more than once, and he kind of died doing it. So yeah, just needs to see them do anything, because they kind of just feel like they've just been allowing themselves to get beat down.
Yeah, pushing on multiple fronts, though, with the Baron buff on all 5 members of the Eagles. Not going to be nice to contend with. I think, with all the poke here, I think we should have seen some more aggressive poke coming out of the side of the Spartans. But at this point, not really much you can do retroactively to deal with what the Eagles are throwing at them. Both inhibitor towers, mid and bot, will fall. Ornhorn is going to be coming through. Does land on Narcissism. And the Curse of the Sad Mummy, I think, just lands on the one. Encore comes through. That's going to be the curtain call as well, too. But Sunny trying to take it up for his teammates. Will block it for Righteous. Now ready, the Arcane will come through, trying to find Righteous on the back. That's a lot of rights. But can they make a right out of a wrong? I don't know. Spartans are trying to hold on here. Those double canyons baroned up are going to actually make it 5 canyons. We're baroned up there for a second. That is brutal to deal with. Bases in shambles, but it's enough to hold the Eagles off for that final push.
Yeah, Desric looking for an opportunity to make something happen. He definitely had the resources to do so, but especially with HP bars looking so low, but just wasn't able to find anything off the back end of that play. And honestly, it's just clean, solid macro, clean, solid micro overall from the side of the Eagles. And if they keep playing up like this, honestly, they have a chance to take down the Astronauts, right? They can, if they're able to meet in the finals, it's a clean sweep. But before that, they probably have to go through, I don't know, Hornets were up 1-0 last we know.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't gotten any more updates quite yet, but most likely they will be going up against the Hornets, unless, you never know. It's playoffs. You can have some crazy stuff happen.
True.
The Hornets are really, really good. So
yeah,
we'll have to see how that one goes. We'll bring you guys the updates as we get them in. Right now, though, Spartans hanging on by their fingernails here, trying to find any possible
that's a
angle
horrible
back to
mental
this
image.
one. Oh God, it is a horrible image. But really, at this point, they're hanging on for dear life here. Oh God. Yeah, so proceed to further describe. Well, no.
Yeah.
It's TOS. But this is rough. If you are the Spartans right now, they're gonna try for Righteous right now. Tibbers comes on out, almost blows up Gent, but they're able to find at least a pick. That is gonna be into some nice gold for the side of the Spartans, but they're dealing with this top side. Curse and Sad Mummy locked down. Dazbric's knocked up, and there goes the Camille. She is down. Feathers and Fur picks that one up. The pressure is continued to be pushed on to this top lane inhibitor tower. That one's going to be going down soon. Whiskey Lion trying to find some more. Cleanse will be popped by GBG. Ornhorn is used, knocks up. The Seraphine once more in some trouble. Curtain call will be popped, but can they find Sunny on the back line? Just need to find an angle, but no. Feathers will tank that up once again. You almost got a third inhibitor down. The super minions are going to be putting on so much pressure to this base. And you got another Baron up in a minute. You got the next Dragon for Mountain Soul up in a minute. Eagles, really, I don't think they need either one to secure this game. But if they do get them, they're just going to say, wipe their hands and say, we got this. We are playing clean. And this is, again, the macro knowledge, the macro play, the team skill, and the team sense coming in from the Eagles and overtaking once you get to this 29-30 minute mark.
Absolutely, but we did see them falter a little bit, right? We saw Righteous go down by playing so aggressively in the bot side when they knew their entire team was bot side. So they made the cross map play and they went for it. They took out Righteous, and that's a huge shutdown. I don't remember who exactly it went on to. I think it was on to Gent or Sniper. Either way, Yeah, I went on to Sniper. So either way, that's a huge shutdown for the Jin, who has his collector building towards that next item, and it might be Sunny getting caught out here.
Yeah, Hextech Ultimatum comes down, and that is a dead Senna. That's so much true damage. Curse of the Sad Mummy will slow down Dazarex for just a little while, but look at the sneaky Ornn backdooring. Question mark, what is happening? It is Mountain Soul here for the Eagles if they want to secure it, but now the TP is coming in, and he's coming. Dazarex, though, on the chase for the Kumi. It's a lot of damage coming out of both of these guys, and one more shot from the Camille should do it. Dazarex is getting kited out, though. Nice block coming in from the Poppy, but Dazarex goes off the wall, finds that Keeper's Verdict, goes wide on Whiskey, but he's getting taken down. Dazarex needs a little more. Encore onto the Annie, gets charmed up, but so much damage comes out of that Tibber. Explodes one members of the Spartans, and Camille is on the run, but oh my goodness, run over, absolutely plowed by the Ornhorn Feathers. We'll find that Seraphine. Camille still on the run. Dazarex is trying to heal up, but Righteous is trying to sneak something, trying to chase. Both major objectives are on the board. That Dragon is available. The Baron is available. Both these teams duking it out, not done
looking
fighting.
for something.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Righteous is getting low. That's going to be the Dawning Shadow from downtown. Dazarex doing so much damage. Tibbers is there to help, but a little bit of speed and shield. It's not enough. More kills for Dazarex. This Camille is online, but is going to have much more of a difficult time with the Mountain Dragon coming in right now.
Yeah, 4 kills for Dazarex right here, just in back to back to back to back to back, and it's just from the Eagles falling apart at the finish line, right? They are making mistakes. They're getting sloppy with their vision. Sunny walking in alone. This entire series, they've been walking together with Whiskey, with Kumi, together as a 3-man unit, but this time he walked in alone with just Whiskey, and they found the angle with Dazarex, and they kept finding it, flashing onto Kumi, hitting Whiskey upside the head with true damage. It's just absolutely insane what this Camille is doing, and then find the turn angle onto Righteous, and he realized that Righteous doesn't have a stopwatch, so there's no way for Righteous to really get around the fact that Dazarex will pop him every single time. And I think stopwatch is kind of a prerequisite when facing Camille as a mage, right? It's one of those things like facing a Skarner, you need to play the Skarner text. When facing Camille, you need to pay for that stopwatch, you need to pay for that Zhonya's, and the fact that they have it means Dazarex can find these angles and get hugely, insanely fed as we go later into this game, and that's exactly what happened. He's actually finally managed to overtake Feathers and Fur in terms of gold.
Yep. It's 32 minutes in the game now. Camille, not getting the resources through the early and the mid stages, but said, hey, you know what? I'll find some of my own. Is officially online, can deal, I think, with any of these members, but oh, good God, not the kill bush. Fnatic, is that you? Don't walk in there. No, Rested. You already got dinged by one down in the tri-bush. Do not do it again. You guys don't have vision. You got to know they're setting up. The Ornhorn is going to be coming through. Dazarex might be the target, but it actually goes between. Thread the needle. Encore lands on all these members of the Eagles. Ready the Arcane as well, too. Keeper's Verdict sends them flying, and that will be the Spartans finding the kills they need. They take down the Kumi. They take down Sunny, and now they've got potential Baron angle here, Arland.
Oh my gosh, no. The Eagles are just falling apart at the last second. Like I said, they just weren't... they're just not playing the vision game properly. They're trying to set up death bushes when they don't need to. They have the pressure, they have the gameplay, they have the champions to do so. And then Feathers of Fur goes and misses his ultimate. Whiskey Lion getting jumped on here. He hasn't had a chance to use his own ultimate.
Curse of the Sad Mummy to slow down that Camille, but Feathers and Fur now dealing with that true damage. Baron's getting lower and lower down underneath 5,000 HP. They want to go for Dazarex because they can find that Camille. It's all over, but Whiskey Lion is taken down first. Dazarex is still an absolute beast, but you do not have a jungler with you. Righteous is over the wall looking for some more, dodging around this damage coming out of the Xerath, but Baron secured now by the Spartans. We are back in this game. Spartans have found some foothold and have shortened the gap to just 3k gold.
Oh man, and Dazarex is going for this mid-turn, but now with Sunny back with Kumi back in the mid lane, I don't think you have the resources to do so, especially without your own bot lane, so they're going to be smartly and wisely backing off, but man, they played so well about that Baron. They zoned Whiskey, they didn't let him get a chance for a multi-man Muma ultimate for a steal. Feathers of Fur wasn't able to find an opportunity to ult with his Ornhorn. They had to back off. Righteous wasn't able to flash into the pit. Didn't even have flash in the first place. So, yeah, this is just a rough, starting to look very rough for the side of the Eagles. And this is where that macro kind of starts to fall off, right? It starts to fall off a little bit in the late stages of the game, and it becomes more of a micro fest again. It starts out micro, goes into a long period of macro, and now you're back into the micro, back into the pure champions. And that's exactly where Camille wants to be. 4 items with a stopwatch. She's going to be taking over this game, especially once she gets flash. Kumi has his own stopwatch. And
Sunny is going to be going down. Ready the arcane finishes him off. Actually, it's Sniper who ends up picking up that final little tick of damage. But this is incredible for the Spartans to be coming back into this game, and I think a lot of this can be attributed to Dazrex finding those kills, but now the rest of his team has got some damage. They've got the Baron sitting on them right now, and they're able to find that tier 1 mid. A little bit more pressure being given over to them. Feathers and Fur, though, with a multi-man knockup, is going to get hit by the Encore. A lot of damage coming out, but the Curtain Call is coming through. Narcissism is trying to dash out of there. Horn lands on a multiple. Curse of the Sad Mummy will hit the Poppy, but Dazrex now coming in with the TP, looking for so much damage. Tibbers is there, but he's about to go down. Whiskey Lion is deep in this fight. No Curse of the Sad Mummy available for that one, and they will hold off the Spartans for now, trading blows back and forth, but it is not enough for either one to find what they need.
Yeah, and the fact that they're able to fight so well as a 4 unit against 5 people just kind of tells you exactly all that you need to know. They didn't even need this the Senna, who, by the way, is at 99 stacks. So once she reaches that 120 mark, that's exactly when you should start to expect her to really just take over this game. Nothing that Camille can do, especially if she's able to get a stopwatch, but she does have a fully stacked tier, looking to grab that Manamune as soon as possible, but this Baron buff is going to be wearing thin relatively soon, so if they're not able to find anything else off of it, it could be really bad. Righteous getting caught out again, though.
Oh my goodness, caught in the Hextech ultimatum with Gent as well. Right in the arcane, finishes him off, but Whiskey Lion looking to trade back some more. Dazrex should have the upper hand in this 1v1, but his team is coming. Right now, Dazrex needs to get on out, because he is about to get dogpiled on this one. Call the Force God will be coming through, slowed on down just at the right moment, but way too far to continue chasing because mid tier 2 goes down. Spartans continue their push, and the pressure is on. The macro games are coming back. We're going full circle. Macro, micro, micro, macro, back again. But this is so good to see from the Spartans.
Oh man, it's such an insane game. They're making all the right calls at the current moment for the Spartans, and this is where heroes are made. This is where champions are born. 26 seconds left to this Elder. They have to play as perfectly as they have been in the last 6 or so minutes, or else it's game over. They have to secure this Elder. Their vision is on point. It is aggressively placed. It's all over the place, and they realize that for the side of the Eagles, they have to walk in as a unit together and clear this vision out. But they have to wait for Narcissism. They have to wait for Dazrex. Most importantly, he doesn't have teleport. He has to walk down here, and Righteous has teleport of his own, but he has no advanced wards for him to place to really play around. And they have 2 wards in the backline. They know that they only have one way to go through. That's going to be Righteous teleporting in, and this is it. They're going to start on the Bellin.
This could be potentially the game-winning fight right here for either one of these teams. Elder has been started up. Gent
does
looking to walk around, has the Keeper's Verdict available in a few seconds, but is it going to be enough time? They have to make a play now. Curtain Call is coming through. Call the Forge God will be popped, and down it goes. Secured by the Eagles. Dazrex is going to pop the stopwatch immediately. Needs to try and stay alive, but 5 members of the Eagles is not going to make this easy. Trying to make the plays happen. Trying to take the blast cone. Right, the Arcane comes through, but Dazrex is going to be going down. Accepts his fate. And the Eagles, I think, have found their angle here to come back into this one. Spartans almost making the hero comeback, but with an Elder, this is going to be so scary for the Spartans to hang on for the next few minutes.
Absolutely. And you have to imagine this is just the game. This is it. This is it, Garth. How do you come back from an Elder? This much gold down. Stopwatch finally picked up for the Annie. Ezreal just popped his stopwatch, but with Dazrex down for, like you said, 30 more seconds, I don't see how they hold on for much longer. Unless they keep his verdicts managed to hit all 5 members away and stalls out time that way, I don't see how they survive this onslaught.
Oh goodness, onto the inhibitors they go. The TP's coming through. Curse of the Sad Mummy onto multiple. Narcissism is taking just a quarter of their health bar. The Mumu is low on mana. They're holding on quite well, but oh my god, Call the Forge God knocks them all up. Keeper's Verdict does send them flying, but Gent and Narcissism forced back into their base. That's the last Nexus Tower, and Eagles on this Nexus looking to punch their tickets to semifinals. Dazrex doing whatever they can to get back into this one, but this Nexus goes on down. Eagles are heading to semifinals. Back to death we come, though. Let's see how Becky's feeling about that one. Woo! My goodness. Oh my god.
Wow. I mean, that almost turned all the way back around. Like, we almost watched just like 180, 180, 180. Like, that was a very back and forth game, and honestly a good one for it to end on. Unfortunately, we are not going to see my chaos board, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. The hot takes will
Okay.
make it, if they come true, it's great. But if not, hey, you know what? You showed some support for those teams, and hey, everybody wins.
Exactly.
Jeez.
But holy smokes. All right, that was quite a game. Let's go. Let's try to stir the spot a little bit more. What was your play of the game? What made that one for you? Start us off. Gurf, you're thinking, I know.
I'm trying to think back to some of those plays. Again, a lot of my focus is going to be going to Dazarex fighting their way, clawing their way back into this game, and making the potential comeback for Game 3 very close. But unfortunately, not able to do it. I think that last play around the Elder, where you had the multi-man knock-up from the Orenhorn, again, Feathers and Fur really good with that. Just put them out of commission, and they couldn't get anywhere near to that Elder to even go for a steal. So it's really well done team play for Eagles.
What about you, Arlen? What was your play of the game? What do you think really solidified that one for the Eagles in the end?
I think if I'm talking about play of the game, for the Eagles, probably has to be. I think it was the second Drake, or third Drake rather for the overall, and it was just Righteous just randomly finding a pick onto their support. That just kind of started the snowball for them. They found the pick, they found more kills around the Drake. They started pushing the map and they accelerated the game absolutely perfectly. It was textbook League of Legends. That's exactly what you want to do when you have an Annie. That's what you want to do when they aren't checking their bushes, crossing their T's, dotting their I's, and that's the play of the game for me, I think.
Beautifully done. The Eagles do get it 2-0. The only best of 3 that we're going to be seeing in this top 8. Next 2 are going to be those best of 5s. Gurf, I see you frantically over there pushing the buttons, trying to get ready. Do you have an update for us on the rest of the bracket?
I have a little bit of an update. So far, I'm gonna just double check my Discord to make sure nothing else has changed so far. But yes, I do.
Okay.
So far, and I will bring it up. We have one series complete. Well, actually, technically 2 series completed right now because I will update the one that we currently just saw. We do have the lower
Beautiful.
bracket ready to go. So let's bring it up. Eagles versus
Bring
Hornets
it.
on the docket for next week in
All
semifinals.
right.
That is going to be a
Okay.
banger.
Save the bees.
Woo! Save the beast. Save the beast. Oh my god. But this has been crazy. We're still waiting on updates from the Astronauts Lions and Nocturnals Phantom series, so we'll see how those ones go, but still currently in progress as far as I know.
All right, but Hornets versus Eagles going to be one of those matches that we get to see next week. And I mean, that's kind of how both of you thought that this was going to go. So, I mean, so far, so good. Racking up those points for the pick'ems. All going well. I never get any points with pick'ems, but it's because I choose chaos every single time.
One day it'll pay off. You know, season
Eventually.
14. Maybe not next season. Season 14 of League. You're just gonna get all the crazy picks and be like, yeah, you know what? I knew it all along. You could say I told us so to so many people.
Exactly. And I'm just waiting for that day. It'll come. It'll come eventually. All right. Any final thoughts before we call it until next week where we get to see what's up, Gurf?
We do currently have an MVP poll going on right now, so
right. Oh my gosh.
That's
Forgive me.
all good.
Forgive me.
All good. I think we got a few minutes still left on that, so if you want to get your votes in for these members of the Eagles, you still have some time. Again, it is the winning team that names get put up there. If there were more than 5 spots, that would be a different case, but Twitch polls, man. You got to work with what you got.
And I mean, there are some big names up there. Arlen, if you didn't have to pay attention to this poll at all, who would you be giving the MVP award over to?
If I didn't have to pay attention, probably Gumi, right? Like, I think his Ezreal was really good, but it wasn't game winning. It wasn't what won them the series, right? It was really good in that last game. He played fine in the Caitlyn game. He didn't make any egregious errors or egregious mistakes, but he just kind of stood in the background and just kind of did AD carry things for most part. And it was really Righteous who stepped up, really Whiskey Lion who stepped up, and really for the most part Feathers and Fur who stepped up. So if I wasn't paying attention to the games, I'd probably pick the AD carry, but I was, so I'd probably go with Righteous or Feathers and Fur.
Ah, man, all of us AD carry mains now. We just not the same level of appreciation that we used to get. I mean, bring
AD
back
carry moment.
2013, 2014. AD
Please
carries
no.
shining spotlight. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want it to go back to that either. Apollo, do you want to give your opinion? Do you want to
Yes.
say hello?
Oh, the
Come on
goodness
up.
boy.
Let's
Come
go.
on up. Tell the people. Tell them. Thank you.
I gotta talk to the owners, but I think we put in a vote to make Apollo the official mascot of Victoris.
Victoris, yes.
Look at him, he's
He's
so
very
cute.
happy.
Such a good boy.
He wears the right colors too. He wears the gold bandana,
That's
black fur.
fantastic.
He matches. He's already on brand. We just gotta get him like a Victoris themed bandana. Wouldn't that be cute?
We'll talk
You'd be
after
so
that.
cute.
That's something
All
I
right.
think might be doable. That sounds amazing. I think still a couple more minutes. Let's see how much time. Okay, yeah, MVP poll I think is like less than a minute right now.
Final votes. Shake it up, people.
Yeah.
Shake it up. Chaos.
Chaos.
There will be no. I don't think there's enough chaos that can be ensued, unfortunately. But
I think we got our
you know, I
chaos.
can still.
At least enough from this week. I think more to come next week. It is, you know what, VAD, a little bit chaotic, but that's what makes it fun. Is seeing these players just send it sometimes, and sometimes that's all you really need is to see people giving it their all, making those crazy plays. We saw a couple tonight, and actually speaking of MVP, the aggressive ganks from that Amumu on Whiskey Lion last game were kind of chef's kiss. So that's who I'm kind of looking out for this poll, and I think the prediction might come true.
I think you might be true. I do want to give one last shout out to Spartans, especially as I mentioned, watching that game. We almost saw them do a 180. They almost came back into that game. A few timely team fights were almost able to bring them back into it. So GG's to them. A fantastic job does end up going the way of those Eagles, though. Very well done in the end, having to claw their ways back into that game. Woo! And we do have an MVP that we are ready to crown momentarily.
huge.
Okay, yes,
Yep, ready to
we're
go.
ready. Let's go. It is huge. Cue it up, Gurf. Who is getting this MVP award on the stream? It is
Whiskey.
Whiskey Lion
It is Whiskey Lion.
on that juggler, even though we have that
Hold
horn
on.
showing up
Hold
there.
on. Hold on.
Okay.
I had a brain moment.
quick.
I had a brain moment.
It's okay.
I was
We
like,
were just very excited about the orange.
I
It's
was.
okay.
Yeah,
Feathers
Orange
and
was
Fur had
fun.
4 votes. I was like, oh, no, math 5 is greater than 4. Amumu, my apologies, Whiskey, Scuff Jungler, Big Brain. True though. I think rightfully so. Made a lot of plays. Game 1, I would say was on point, doing what they needed to be doing. But game 2 is really, I think, where we saw them step up, making those invades. We saw the CS differential at the beginning of the game was already quite significant. And then right off the bat, bandage toss, ganking lanes, looking for everything, getting in the faces of the Spartans. Whiskey Lion, I think, really was the initiation to making sure this comp got rolling. So really well done for the Eagles jungler.
Anything you want to throw on top of that, Arlen? Any final notes for the jungle of Sejuani and Amumu on Whiskey Lion here?
I think Gurf hit it perfect on the nail on the head. I think he played super well. He played, calm, steady tank gameplay, right? He farmed out his jungle. He made the ganks happen. He sacrificed, resources for his sake of his team, and it paid off, right? He went mid when he had to. He went top when he had to. He was there everywhere where he needed to be. He invaded multiple times onto Jint's jungle and just made it so incredibly hard for this Kane/Poppy to play the game. And he looked very, very consistent on the Sejuani, on the Amumu. I'm eager to see how he looks going forward.
Yeah, especially as we mentioned, we do think that the Hornets are going to be one of those bigger teams to pack a punch going into next week. So there's certainly a lot of preparation that has to go into the Eagles' back pocket going forward. And I'm very excited to see how they're going to do going into next week. That is going to be it for us. So we are going to be calling it a night until next week, where we will continue to run through this top 4 and get that much closer to crowning the champion of the Victoris Amateur Draft. Thanks so much, everybody. Say goodnight, Gurf and Arland.
Good night, Gurf and Arlen.
Wait, what?
Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Bye.